Greetings and welcome to your Wednesday edition of me drowning out myself. I apologize for that. There we go. There we go. I need to be a little quicker on that. It's so dark this morning. I feel like I should still be asleep. Let me unmute myself in Discord here. How's everybody doing? Let me quickly.
I'm okay. What you up to?
You know, I'm doing some divination. I'm gonna quickly change this over to pre-show. You asked.
Yep.
What are you doing?
Me? I was just running around Varrock at the moment. Just looking at something. I was just confirming.
It would be.
Yeah. I was just running around.
Running around. What'd you confirm?
I was confirming the location of the circus.
Ah, gotcha. Was it where you thought it was gonna be?
Yes, it was where I thought it was going to be.
Good.
I still can't get over the fact that last week it made a dick out of me.
Yeah, that was mildly amusing for sure. I'm gonna turn a light on because I'm gonna try not to fall asleep. What's up, Magic Turtle?
It is early morning for most of Australia right now. It's still PM in Western Australia. So
For now.
yeah.
By the end of this show, it's gonna be like 4 in the morning for you. Which I still find amazing, because I would never be able to do that. I'd be asleep in an instant. Anyway, we pretty much pre-baked the show notes today, so that's a thing. That's a good thing as far as I'm concerned. It makes for less of a pre-show, but it means we can get to the show sooner. So unless anyone has any like super breaking topics, then probably going to jump into the show sooner than later as far as the pre-show goes. I have to say though, Sombra came out, and it was pretty great. I'm enjoying that. Been playing a lot of Overwatch. When I can. I haven't really had time to do much gaming at all. But what's great about Overwatch is like 30 minutes of Overwatch feels like a lot of Overwatch, at least to me. And like I feel like I've done like a huge gaming session in like 30 minutes. I'm exhausted. I'm like, okay, cool, I can go do something else now. But yeah, since I believe it feels like longer, but I guess it was just yesterday that PC received Sombra into the live game, and it was it's good fun. It's good fun. So if anyone is an Overwatch fan and you play on the PC, hit me up. Join us on Discord, discord.runeweek.com, and come play with us. Been really enjoying the 3 versus 3 elimination matches. That's a lot of fun as well. So yeah, I'm gonna try not to lose my voice here today. My voice is a little raspy today. I'm not sure exactly what's going on there, but yeah. Harley, what have you been up to?
I've been playing a little bit of Overwatch since the update came out. Once I figured out how to get my silly PlayStation to work, because it wasn't connecting to the Wi-Fi for some strange reason. Luckily, restarting like the router and everything fixed it, but it was pretty annoying for a little while there. But yeah, I'm enjoying Sombra. She's definitely a high skill gap. I don't know if I was expecting her to be as high of a skill gap as she is, but
I love her. Oh,
I do too.
She's so much fun to play.
She is. I find it amazing how many people thought that she was going to be like super overpowered. Because as far as I'm concerned, they mostly nailed her balance.
Yeah, I agree.
Perfectly.
I agree. I completely agree. I think in the right hands, she is a killing machine. But to take advantage of all of her powers correctly and properly, I think there's a learning curve there that really, if you're at the base of that learning curve, you're not going to be able to pull off some of her more advanced tactics. She's insanely mobile. Like, she's probably the most mobile, maybe barring Pharah, for getting around the map as an assault unit. Like, it's pretty great how much you can really fake somebody out. There's nothing, in my mind, better than... I had this great kill. We were doing elimination, 3v3 eliminations the other day, and I was playing a Sombra, and it was down to myself and one other enemy teammate, and I had about like 10 health left. For those of you who don't know or haven't had a chance to play elimination, there are no health packs. You can only be healed by your teammates. All my teammates are dead. There's no way for me to heal as Sombra, and I'm fighting a soldier, and we go head-to-head DPS, and we're just nailing each other. And Sombra's gun is faster. I think it has a higher DPS, but it has a large cone of fire. But we were both right in each other's faces, so the cone of fire wasn't an issue. But my health was going down real quick, so I threw my translocator over their shoulder, teleported midair, and headshot them above them in the air. Like, that's the kind of crap you could do with Sombra's translocator. The fact that you can teleport well in motion, or just like pretty much whenever the hell you want, really confuses people. The old dropping it on a hacked health pack is also super useful way for staying alive. We had this one crazy match where we were basically we were on King's Row right at the end, and we couldn't get the final push. I think we actually ended up losing the game. But we were able to stay on their point the whole time, and it was, of course, PTR, everyone was Sombra, so it was, like, stupidly imbalanced on all sides. But, yeah, we were able to stay there mainly just because of a hacked health pack. And I think that strategically, those hacked health packs are going to be a huge advantage for whoever's team has them.
Yeah. That's one thing I feel like could be nerfed, because I feel like a minute is quite possibly too long for that hack to last.
Considering you can hack, so you can hack a health pack and hack almost 6 other things while that health pack remains hacked. Like, the cooldown on the hack, at least on the PC, is only 10 seconds. So you could have hacked like
6 seconds, isn't it?
Is it?
6.
It was. I thought it was 10. Maybe I'm just wrong. But even if it's even less than 10 seconds, that's even like 4 seconds. No. The hack lasts 6 seconds on an enemy sold.
No,
like,
lasts 5 seconds.
Are you sure about that? I feel like
these are the numbers I heard.
Our data sounds completely different here.
Numbers. It does.
I'm gonna have to look into that, because I was told 10 seconds cooldown, 6 seconds on the ability activation, and you're saying 6 seconds and 5 seconds. So I was reading directly from the patch notes for the PC. So if I'm wrong on that, then I apologize, but I'll bring up the patch notes and see if it says exactly what her
maybe I'm thinking about some. I mean, she has so many cooldowns, and I could be thinking about a different one. Who knows?
Well, now I need to know. I just don't know where to get the numbers from.
Yeah, I didn't read the patch notes, but that all I picked up, like, post BlizzCon talk and watching a lot of streamers play her at BlizzCon.
Hey, Sarah.
To me, the thing about her that everybody, like, nobody noticed when, like, they were complaining is, like, it's so easy to counter her hack. Like,
yeah.
And yeah, the translocator can help her get away, but, like, if she's not super smart about that, or if it's been more than 15 seconds and she like, things like that, like, she's not going to get away very easily. Like, her invisibility is only useful when she's not, like, if she goes invisible in front of you, you just shoot
you just spray the area and she's immediately.
Yeah.
Yeah. You really need to use the stealth as an offensive thing rather than a defensive thing. Like, it's good to flank. Yeah, get into position.
I mean, you have to stay behind, because, like, also, like, if you just, like, run across fire, like, they couldn't even be trying to reveal you. Like, when I was playing her, like, I just get revealed by accident, because, like, I just be in a firing lane by accident.
How do you like this? We're both wrong. It's a 12-second cooldown for hack.
Oh. There we go.
Yeah. Real close without going over.
Yeah. If this was The Price is Right, I win.
I know, that's why I said it. We used to have the prices right in Australia. I don't know if you've got it over there in the US anymore, but we used to have it here.
Oh yeah, someone's still doing it. There was another. What was the other cooldown I wanted to check? I already. How long hacking?
How long the hack lasts?
Let's see. Sombra hacks enemies temporarily to stop defusing abilities. Taking damage interrupts the hack. Doesn't. Let's see. 15-meter range, 12-second cooldown, but it doesn't actually say how long the effect is. That's mildly annoying.
Yeah, that is.
Anyway, well, we got some information. It's better than no information, I suppose. Anyway. It drives me nuts when I don't have exact numbers in front of me. Ugh.
I think she is such a great character for the health of the game, because the biggest problem the game has right now is, like any comp match you play, you almost always need a Reinhardt. Like you
Yeah.
can get away with it, but usually you can get away with it if the other team is worse than you. But if you are two evenly matched teams, you want a Reinhardt because it's like 2,000 damage.
Oh yeah,
extra.
it's as far as getting your team to basically to the flashpoint where you're fighting. Reinhardt is basically just a freaking moving wall to do so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And same with defending. You know, you stand at a choke point and put up the shield, and you just stand there forever. So her ult and her hack, if she can pull off her hack behind a Reinhardt, is going.
It's not that hard to get behind a Reinhardt.
Yeah. The only problem is if the other people
Yeah.
see you. But
yeah. That's the thing is like one damage, 1 point of damage, and your hack's interrupted. So yeah, you really, and I believe it takes at least a couple of seconds. I think it literally is 2 seconds to initiate the hack, which can be painstaking to not get noticed for 2 whole seconds when you're pretty much in the open. And there's a giant like laser beam pointing off of you towards the person you're trying to hack. Big red flag. So yeah, you really have to like catch people off guard. But her ultimate's great, but I feel like her ultimate is more to be used as a counter than on its own. Like it seems like a good ultimate to have ready for when the enemy team pops one of their ultimates. Mainly Lucio's, I guess.
which ults does it? It doesn't, because it doesn't interrupt. It doesn't stop all ults.
No, it doesn't. Well, if you haven't ulted, it will stop you from ulted for the time being because it acts as a hack. But it completely negates all shields. So any ultimate that adds a shield, it will negate.
I heard that it might mess up Ana's ult. I haven't tested that.
Ana's ult. That's interesting. I don't know if it messes up Ana's ult or not, because I don't know how that actually protects you. It doesn't add shield points, but it does shield you. I have no idea how that works. That's interesting. The main one I know that it affects, obviously, because I play a lot of is Lucio. And obviously, if you're Zenyatta, it makes you pretty much insta-killable because you're 90% shield. So, there's that.
Really? It drops Zenyatta's shields.
Yep.
That's dirty.
You could literally like punch Zenyatta to death after that hack.
I'm trying to think who else has shields. Does Zarya have
Zarya
shield?
is about 25% shield, maybe 33% shield, yeah. She's got a good chunk of shield.
I mean, I agree with you. It definitely is a good counter. The other thing it's great is it's going to be, first of all, it's going to be a great mix with the Zarya ult because you cast her ult first, and then Zarya casts hers, and the other team can't do anything, and then you push to the point where you kill them all. Or even just get, it honestly might even be useful just to get a Reinhardt shield down, because like there's so many maps, like Hanamura, you can sit attacking that map with just a Reinhardt in front of you for like 5 minutes. You can just freaking sit there and hit your head against the wall. But the second his shield goes down, that game completely changes.
Yep, for sure. Yeah, I love that. What I don't know about her ultimate is if it I guess it does, doesn't it? Yeah, because it acts as a hack, so Reinhardt's shield is down for like 6 seconds or something, 6 or 10 seconds.
It's down and it's destroyed. So
it's at 0.
Her ultimate actually destroys
the shield. Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. So this is going to be a few more minutes of Overwatch talk, and I'm just basically filling up a pre-show that doesn't exist because the show notes are done here. But so I apologize anyone who's not into the whole pre-show thing. It will be, or into Overwatch in general. It will be over very soon.
I think the Bounty Hunter fighting is actually happening post would be good, since we're going to be talking about Bounty Hunter.
What? Which one?
The Bounty Hunter fighting is actually happening.
Yeah, I wasn't sure what part of that you wanted me to pull. Is it's the body of it's just an image?
Yeah, it's more like all the comments on it that kind of cover it. Like the first person's comment there is really good. And
all right, this would have been cool to say back when I said, "Hey, were there any topics that you wanted from that?"
Well, I know, and then you launched, and then you start. I was going to look at the doc, and then you started the show, and then we started talking about Overwatch, so I got distracted.
Well, that's what happens when you get distracted, I guess. Anyway, I guess we could just start the show.
The other thing I was thinking about bringing up in the pre-show, I don't know if you saw this, but Sony is issuing bans to people for Watch Dogs 2.
Yeah, I learned that this morning as I was just going through my news feed. Seems a little bit ridiculous that they publish a game and then people get in trouble for just taking pictures of the game that they published.
Yeah, well, for those people who don't know, Watch Dogs 2 has like full nudity in it, so like penises and vaginas are actually fully modeled in the game.
Yep.
And so people who have been taking screenshots have been getting temp bans from the service. And I agree with you on the whole game thing, but I also think just on a basic level, like Western society has like this huge problem with nudity, but violence is everywhere.
Yeah, right.
Like, you literally almost every game I play on my PS4 is like murder simulator, kill everybody, and that's totally okay. But like as soon as we show nudity, nope, big issues here, which is so messed up to me.
I agree. I don't understand it either. I think nudity is way less egregious than violence. It's like one is natural. It's part of life, and the other one is literally about removing life from the planet. The literal antithesis. Like it's just I don't know. It bothers me as well. Especially as someone who just doesn't have a problem with that type of stuff. And I just don't understand why you would have a problem with that type of stuff unless you're. I don't even get the whole like children argument. It's like we're all human. They're gonna find out eventually. Like,
yeah, I mean, even the children argument.
It's not like it's hardcore fucking.
Well, but even if it is, like Watch Dogs 2 is a rated M for mature.
Exactly.
Game.
You shouldn't. An 8-year-old shouldn't be playing it.
Yeah.
There's nudity in GTA 5 as well.
Oh yeah.
There's actually a nudist colony in GTA 5. You enter there with clothes, and they all start shooting you.
I think that's all above waist nudity, though.
No, it's full on.
Okay,
really?
I didn't know
they
that.
They model the sex organs as well.
Yeah.
I did not know that.
I didn't either. But yeah, I mean, just displaying nudity in my mind does not, because I believe I was reading one of the comments on the Reddit page about it, and people were like, "Whoa!" Or no, it was Twitter, and they were tagging the ESRB and like, "What ESRB? Sure, this doesn't automatically make the game adults only? Come on!" It's just like, no, it doesn't. No, like there's a difference between a hardcore adult activity and nudity. One is censored or should be censored, because that's a choice if you want to watch that, versus just seeing someone naked. I don't know. It just seems silly to me.
Yeah.
But again, a reminder: it does not flag the game for an adult-only rating. A mature rating is still fine, even for full frontal nudity. It's about
even like
the context. Yeah.
Like we said, I mean, I don't know. Like, even if there was hardcore sex, if we're not gonna flag hardcore violence as adult only, like,
sure. If we're gonna live, if you want to play it down that like logical path where it's like, if we're gonna do this, then yeah, I agree with you. If we're gonna do that, then we should do that. But I think we should do neither. Really, I think as much as I think violence is a much bigger problem than nudity, I think you should be able to display both of them prominently in your game if you want to. And I mean, yeah, I think both of them are worthy of a mature rating. But what is maturity, right? Like, can you be mature? Who says you have to be? Listen, I'll tell you what. When I was 17 years old, which is the requirement for a mature rated game, I was not very mature. All right, the 17 was not a good cutoff point for deciding when I became a mature adult. That was more like 26. So slapping something on it and saying at this age this person can handle this content, I think is a complete and utter cop-out. It's lazy. It just says, hey, we want to put something in here to make parents and busybodies feel good. Okay, well, what's an arbitrary age that sounds mature enough? Okay, we'll do without pissing off too many, teenagers. Okay, 17, sure. There you go. That way people who are sub 18 feel like it's like, all right, you can't quite go, buy a pack of smokes, but you can pick up this rated M video game here. You can feel a little bit like an adult. We'll just ease you into it. No. Stupid. Anyway. Age is barely mature now. It's true. It's true. Exactly. Which is why I think slapping an age on maturity, though there is definitely, maturity does come with age, for sure. Slapping a specific age on maturity, I think, is silly because everyone matures at a different rate. Like I said, I don't think I was fully mature until like 25, 26. If you'd even consider me mature today. A penguin. I've never seen a penguin down at the divination colony. That's interesting. Anyway.
Get some water. I'll be right back.
Okay. Now I need everyone to talk me out of buying Watch Dogs 2, please, because I kind of want it. Like, I liked Watch Dogs 1, but I don't know. I also don't want to spend money on it. Yada yada yada. Anyway, all right. Well, DX, yes,
just get GTA 5. It's much more fun.
yeah, I'm sure it is. I'm sure it is. Let me. It's really a pretty short pre-show. We're gonna, if you want, just PM me 25 minutes, and we'll just get this started here.
Da, 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 da.
Yes. Yes.
Just making sure I'm standing by in the live chat. I'm in the live chat on Discord. I'm also on YouTube chat.
Alrighty.
All
right. Okay, cool. Then we are...
just before we do it, I just posted in general on Discord, but I was just mentioning about nudity in GTA 5. I actually posted in general as a highlight thing from Vanos Gaming.
Alrighty, so let's see. Today's the 16th. Everything looks to be correct. Tabs are open. Let me go ahead and toss this into YouTube. Un momento as I copy all this nonsense over. No, I want all the things. There we go. Now I got all the things.
I'm gonna have a swig of me Pepsi while I wait.
A swig of me Pepsi. Alright. Don't buy it for a good month, Mage. Remember No Man's Sky. That's what I exactly. But see, the game's already out on PlayStation, and people are... I'm watching gameplay of it, and I'm like, I want to play this. It doesn't come out on the PC for another, like, week and a half, which is bullshit. But, yeah, I don't know. Watch Dogs 2, I kind of was gonna, not pay for, because I feel like they didn't do a very good job with Watch Dogs 1. But I also want it, like, now, like, immediately, which isn't possible because I don't own a console, but... Whatever. That's certainly going to stop me from purchasing it, is the fact that I physically can't. But, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? Alright. Let's get this show on the road. Today is the 16th. I've already said that. Show notes are copied over. My nose is starting to get stuffed up. I can already feel it happening. I'm excited. Breathe.
Just as you're about to begin.
Of course. That's how it works. Alright. DX is gonna. Okay, welcome back. DX is gonna remain silent in today's intro. I have a feeling. Right, DX? That's right. That's the best way to do it. Hey, Zenel, welcome. Just in time. All right, why don't we go ahead and put the proper music in the playlist here, because I can't start a show if I don't have the music. So let me see.
Are you starting with the Children of Mah music today?
No, that doesn't have enough hype for me to... that track's too brooding. We will be opening with it on Monday when we live stream the quest, though, for sure. I'm excited for that. I hope I can get an on-time live stream. I have to double-check my schedule. I've been starting to put things on Mondays now because it's like one of my only days where I can. Anyway, okay. Oh, I didn't make a ticker, did I? Poop on me. All right. Let me quickly... make a ticker. My apologies for my unprofessional mannerisms here and not creating the content that you all deserve on time. Did anyone catch the TLDW live?
I did. I thought it was weird. You know, let's just say Shawnee and Kelpie were to be honest, they were pretty pissed off regarding the exploits in Bounty Hunter.
I don't blame them. I mean,
I imagine it's been a busy few
I said it would
for
happen.
Ninjas as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Kelpie just looked tired. I think they're putting too much on the Ninja team. And we have a post about that today. Yeah. Okay. So now we can officially start. Everything is in place. Magebucks code is good to go. Let's get into the show. Let me clear my nose. It sucks. 3, 2, 1. You're listening to Runescape Weekly for 11/16/2016. I'm your host, Magebit, with over 15 years of RuneScape experience. Joining me today is Dxthelb and Harley. And on today's show, patch notes and updates for the 14th of November, stop pointing the finger at Jagex for Bounty Hunter, give rewards for effort, TLDW question and answer for the Children of Mah, Children of Mah rewards are disappointing, is Ninja Workload too high? Ditch Reddit. Warning from a whale. Is 120 Slayer really a good idea? Dozens of players did it, so everyone else should do it too. Rant. RuneScape isn't dead. The Vegan Challenge? Beware of hackers. Help! I'm being extorted! And I hate wings. Thank you for tuning into this edition of RuneScape Weekly, and enjoy the show. Welcome back for your Wednesday edition of RuneScape Weekly. Magebit here. Welcome. Zenel's abusing his powers in chat, it looks like. We're off to a good start. We got DX joining us today. How you doing, DX?
I'm the one that hasn't come up with any sort of malfunction yet. Xanil's just have one. Mage, you have one with your sinuses. Just think, for the last 2 weeks, it was me that kicked off the show with bad karma.
Yeah.
I just remember what happened last week for you to tell me to remain silent during the intro. I just remembered.
Oh well,
it must be the reason why I'm using wired headset today.
Oh yeah, so that's why it's just always use wires. It's nothing can go wrong except for animals chewing through them, I suppose, which is a real possibility in this household. I don't know about over there.
Well, I suppose you're right. I've got a 9-month-old niece, so I don't know whether or not she could chew through the cables yet.
Congratulations, by the way, the Molly RS project got a big interview with Jagex and everything. I see the Building RS project account there in chat. Very exciting for y'all. I'm very stoked to see that Jagex has pretty much gone on board and decided to support the project. That's really awesome. My comment wasn't anything we weren't all thinking. I missed the comment. I restored it, I think, though, on my screen. That'll teach him to make PvP content. There you go. I read your comment for you, since it was ripped from us. Ripped from our very arms. Anyway, we can, we got Harley joining us as well. Let me see if I can bring my brain back to intro. Harley, how you doing?
I am doing pretty good. Excited to get the show on the road, so to speak.
Me too. Is that a hint at me to move forward?
No, I just couldn't think of anything more interesting to say, so I said that.
Fair enough. Anyway, so yeah, we got a good show lined up for you today. Let's jump into it. Today's Magebucks code, of course, is emrd. That's EMRD. That's for 500 Magebucks. So if you're keeping track of your Magebucks, you can do so and add that code in there at runeweek.com. You can keep saving up your Magebucks and get free shows and all that fun stuff, or just participate in the leaderboards and see who can collect the most Magebucks. It's always a good time. And of course, we are live producing the show. We go live at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And of course, if you want, you can tip us live now. We have tip.runeweek.com. And we will announce tippers on the live show. You'll get a little graphic that will pop up on the video portion of the show. And if you attach a note, we will read your donation note as well. So, good way to get yourself on the show if you want to, or if you want to just show your support along the way. We do appreciate that as well. So anyway, let's get into today's show, shall we? It's going to be a good one. I can feel it. First up, we have some PSAs. DX, would you like to carry us into the land of PSAs?
I like that. First of all, Iron Seto is the first hardcore Iron Man to unlock the final boss title. The circus is currently located at the lumberyard. Here we go. So it begins. We're off. The minigame Spotlight is on the Great All project, and the minigame Spotlight is updated on the RuneScape Weekly Facebook page up to the end of January.
Very nice. We also have another PSA about our Discord emoji again. If you want to make us any Discord emoji, you can get in contact with me at show@runeweek.com, at rsweekly, or at discord.runeweek.com.
I hope you like the two Shawnee emojis I sent you.
Yes, I need to turn them into turn them into emojis, and I need to turn. I believe Hampshire has a couple that I also still need to turn into emojis, and we are probably going to begin production of the official Christmas shirt. By the way, I think we're gonna go with the meme we have pretty much created. Give us snow at least, then I can decide.
I love that. I got in trouble for that last week because I was laughing so hard at that and actually working that up.
So Zettel has given us a mock-up from last show that I have on screen here. If you want to take your hand at creating us an actual shirt design for this, both front and back, with RuneScape Weekly logos and everything built into it, get in contact with me, because I would like to get this shirt design done so we can have it up and for sale by Thanksgiving, preferably before Black Friday. So if you're interested in helping me with that, cool. If not, then we'll get that. We'll get Zenel's crappy mock-up slapped on a Teespring campaign.
LOL elite.
Have we made an emoji of fence stopping a rabbit yet? No, that'd be pretty difficult to. If you can convey that in 32 by 32 pixels, then I'd love to have it. I really wish they would make emoji bigger in Discord. It's really silly the size of them. You can't get anything done. You can't express yourself easily in that size. I think the size of the emoji should be about the size of the profile images that you see on like mobile. Anyway,
they must be worried about storage space or something. Would be my guess.
Maybe. I mean, each image, even if it was like 100 by 100 and then it's scaled downwards, could that even be more than like 10 kilobytes per image? I mean, I know you multiply that by millions of people, and I guess that becomes a problem.
Yeah, I'm guessing that's where they're coming from.
That's possibly a problem. If that's a problem, then I should require third-party hosting. I don't know. I would literally pay. I would pay monthly as well. Like I'd pay a couple bucks a month to have better emojis.
That's what I was saying. They should. Don't they have a pay service?
They have a premium. They have a premium service, but you can't pay for it. I'm pretty sure. Like it's, at least last time I checked. Maybe they've changed it since then. That's possible. As far as Discord goes, I'm not 100% sure about that because I was looking to create a premium Discord or turn my server into a premium Discord server, and I couldn't figure out how to do it without going to like a third-party website that was like, "We'll sell you a premium Discord server," and that just doesn't sound legit.
No, not at all. But it's a shame they didn't think of that before they released emoji because I think, well, I guess they could still do high detail ones for pay. There should be a subscription service.
There should be,
because they don't have any way to make money right now that I know of.
Well,
honestly scares me in some ways.
Yeah, I know. And well, I'll tell you how they make money right now is telemetry. They sell all of the voice transactions that occur over their platform to research firms. So everything we're saying right now that's going through the Discord servers is being stored and sold. That's how Discord makes its money right now.
Oh, great. That's fantastic.
So if you weren't aware of that, now you are. Ting. But yeah, that's how Discord has decided to make its business model is by selling your information to remain a free product. And honestly, I would, if there was a tier that allowed you to pay a few bucks a month, I would absolutely do it. That's why a lot of people are like, don't use Discord. And it's like, well, what? It's like, the only other is like, I want to run my own TeamSpeak server. And I really, really like everything about Discord. That
it's not like I trust Skype anymore. Like, I would trust Discord anyway. So.
Exactly. I mean, the only one you can, I guess, truly, really put the trust in your hands is something like TeamSpeak or Vent, where you run your own server. But I don't want to run my own server, so that's where I'm at right now. I personally don't care. Like, listen, this show's already being put out there for free on the internet. I really could care less if they're collecting it for themselves when they can literally just go listen to it on YouTube, and there you go. Save themselves the time. YouTube already did it for them. Anyway, we have a couple of Ninja teasers, one from Mod Days and one from Mod Ramen. And the first one, I'll be honest with you, I don't actually know what the hell's going on because it's combat related. But the title is Something I Found Time to Do Today, Spot the Difference. And it's a new interface system for rots. I don't know exactly. I don't know exactly what they changed.
They are removing the player cap, so you don't have to have a certain amount of players to start a rot.
Awesome. Okay. That's pretty cool. That actually makes sense now that because yeah, you needed a team. You no longer need a team for, well, yeah, it's pretty much doable without a team at this point. So okay, there you go. So thank you for that information right there. So that's a coming change, and people want that to happen to Virago as well. From the comments I can see there, so it's possible we'll see more in the future. We also have another one by Mod Ramen who says, "You asked for it. We got it done today. Coming soon." Is Little Tuzzy and Karar Jr. familiar overrides. So you'll be having that in-game coming soon, TM.
If I understood the image right, the moving image right, I think that's the effects of the Steel Titan, isn't it? Or the Iron Titan, when you play the video?
I don't know. Let me play it real quick. I think you're right, yeah. The little, like, lines that come down. The anchor. Yeah. Yep. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's Steel Fury or whatever it is.
Alright.
Anyway, we're going to quickly go into Pern's patch notes here, unless anyone wants to talk about that. We good to go?
Yeah, the patch notes, the actual patch notes, yeah, they're big, aren't they? This week.
Yeah, this video is about 9 minutes long, so buckle up and prepare yourselves if you want to listen. If you're listening via Discord opposed to the live stream, feel free to pop over to the live stream to listen to this portion. But we're going to quickly play through Pern's patch notes here, and we just received $3.14 from, let's see here, from Zeno. Penalty for being a noob chat mod, sorry, Elite. And so thank you, Elite, for that. Get your comments deleted more often, please. Every time a chat mod screws up, they have to send us money. I like that idea. Let me write that down. Anyway, so Pern is not here today, as you may have noticed, but he will be here in spirit. So why don't we go ahead and play Pern's patch notes? Here we go.
G'day everybody, it is Pyrnassius back with your game updates and patch notes for the 14th of November 2016. And this week sees the long-awaited return of Bounty Hunter. It has suffered a few delays, but it is finally here. And we also have two of the elite skilling outfits, the Gemstone Golem and the Rune Ethereal outfits, which will now be gained through skilling. So let's look at Bounty Hunter first. To get started, hop onto a dedicated EOC or Legacy Bounty Hunter world where you'll be able to access only Edgeville and the Wilderness. And for these worlds, World 97 is the Legacy world and World 106 is EOC. You will need to have a combat level of 20 and of course have RuneScape membership. Once there, you'll be assigned a bounty target. This opponent will be matched to your level of PKing skill with a newly introduced ELO rating system. After 5 initial placing matches, you'll find that each target presents a challenge tailor-made to you. Hunt down your mark and take them out for a chance to earn a bounty emblem. Risk it and go after another target, potentially upgrading it to further increase its value or cash it out for bounty points. But beware, your opponent will be trying to do the same. Plus you'll need to watch your back for roaming PKers seeking to kill non-targets in downtime between bounties. This will be known as rogue killing. Trade your points in with the Mandrith in Edgeville for some truly awesome stuff, including Brawling Gloves, upgrades to your Ancient Armor sets, an amulet that adds an extra effect to Barrow's armor, level 87 weapons based on the Crucible weapons, along with their devastating special attacks. Most of Bounty Hunter's rewards are tradable too, so PKing can mean healthy profits for the skilled killer. About the only thing I am after here with this is going to be the new rune pouch, which will allow us to store up to 3 runes in the pocket slot or in the ammo slot item, so that That'll be a good one. I'm expecting them to be very expensive to start off with, but we'll see what happens. Anyway, upping your rating not only pitches you against tougher opponents, but also unlocks ever more impressive looks for the Revenant pet available in the reward shop. Imp, Goblin, Ice Fiend, and Pyre Fiend. Keep an eye out for more Revenant variants in the future too. Have fun, and we'll see you in the wildy. Now, on to the things most of my friends are sort of more excited about, is the Elite Skilling outfits. Again, RuneScape membership will be required to collect them. If you're getting the mining pieces, you'll need 70 mining or 70 rune crafting for the rune crafting pieces. To actually make the outfits, you'll need 80 mining and 20 invention for the gemstone golem, and 80 rune crafting and 21 invention for the rune ethereal. Once you meet the 70 mining or rune crafting requirement, you'll be able to collect fragments of the rune ethereal and gemstone golem outfits while training the corresponding skill through any regular method. Success chance increases with your skill level, and the fragments will be automatically stored in your currency pouch. Then head to the invention workbench and discover a new blueprint which, for 3600 fragments, will earn you a random piece of one of the base outfit variants. Iron Man players can collect the outfit and enjoy their benefits, but cannot trade pieces with other players. Having an Iron Man myself, I actually don't mind this one. We'll read down below what it gives you, but gives Iron Man a chance to earn something that is in-game, but the fact that you cannot trade pieces is very good. As before, these pieces can be traded directly with other players, except for Iron Man, for other outfit pieces related to the same skill, and the 3 base variants of any one outfit piece can be combined into the full piece. Collect and wear the full set for some great skilling benefits. So, once you get all 3 sets, you make the Affinity Ethereal outfit. That'll give you 7% chance for double siphon runes in the runespan, free movement between runespan platforms. Obviously, the level requirement still applies there. 50% for chance for rune pouches not to degrade on crafting. You will get 5 daily teleports to the runespan, Yellow Wizard and back. Stores an extra 12 rune or pure essence. Body and legs each grant a weight reduction effect, and imparts rune crafting benefits of the Wicked Hood, Wicked Robes, and Mauritanian legs too, if owned. Onto the Magic Golem outfit, that'll give you an extra 7% chance of success when mining. All living rock creatures are non-aggressive if you go down to the living rock caverns, and it imparts the mining benefits of the golden mining suit and Varrock armor if owned. The base variant sets, in the Ruby Golem, it is the Sapphire, Emerald, and Ruby Golem sets, and the Law, Blood, and Death Ethereal give an increased success for doubling chances, although at 5% rather than 7%, and the effects of the other owned skilling outfits. Enjoy! Have a tremendous week of scaping all, and don't forget to chase those last few skills or quest requirements for the Children of Mah coming next week. Also, don't miss this week's live streams. Tuesday, November 15th at 5 PM game time, it is the Children of Mah Q&A. And on Sunday, November 20th at 7 PM game time, PVM with Mod Lee. It looks like we are not getting Mod Shawnee's Friday review again. But anyway, let's head straight over to the patch notes now. And again, always be sure to submit a bug report should you find any gameplay bugs or graphical glitches. First up is this skill, D&Ds and minigames. Players can now check their progress in the empty throne room with Celia Diggory. Players can no longer remote bank all energy types, including cursed, such as via imp boxes or legendary pets. Now that really sucks. That was one of the good things, and the only reason I was actually doing some divination out in the wilderness, because my legendary pet would bank everything every 10 minutes. So goodbye wilderness, you'll never see me there doing any skilling again. Anyway, some messages that incorrectly reference the Crucible rather than Deathmatch have been fixed, and the Magex system now works correctly with a rune pouch. Onto quest challenges and achievements. Corrected an issue where a player had fully repaired the Lady Lumbridge during Dragon Slayer, but Ned didn't believe it was fully repaired enough. Other ones, the zombie walk animation override is no longer disabled after an hour. Lava strike worms will no longer reduce damage taken for the first 10 seconds. And reclaiming stackable items from a gravestone will now add to other existing stacks in the backpack. And finally, just last week's hotfixes. The Dwarven miners in the empty throne room now deposit more crystals at a faster rate. Bikes in the Centistan throne room can now be pedalled with no crystals in the Refinatrix. Buying multiple XP lamps for a random skill from the Ark no longer awards a single lamp for the price of several. Gaining burning embers from a daily challenge with one free inventory space while owed a challenge bag no longer disconnects the player. The Make X system no longer closes itself when selecting a recipe which uses runes. Players can now earn burning embers for the Birth by Fire event when killing Araxi, the Queen Black Dragon, and Telos. Players are now able to gain burning embers and strange rocks from the empty throne room. Players can also now re-enter the Slug Cave during the Salt in the Wound quest if they have used the skip cutscene for travelling on ships. Herb burners are now persistently stored with Diango. I know a few people had a bit of issue there. And finally, mystery boxes from the Birth by Fire event now award the correct variant of Spirit Gems. So that is your game updates and patch notes for the 14th of November 2016. Hope you all enjoyed that. Again, don't forget to join us over on Runescape Weekly for the podcast, Wednesdays and Fridays. I should always be there with Magebit and the other co-hosts when they are there. Anyway, happy RuneScaping. I will see you all next week.
I should always be there, he says. How ironic. He wasn't there.
Wait, someone file a missing persons thing.
Oh, good stuff. So there you go. There are your patch notes and your game update for the week, which was, of course, Bounty Hunter, which, oh, believe you me, we are about to talk about. I personally have not put any, literally zero, time into Bounty Hunter, but I have been keeping up with the comments and the tweets and the Reddit, and holy crap. People are salty, unnecessarily so. Good.
I think the biggest patch note change for this week, of course, is the change to legendary pets and inboxes can't bank divination stuff anymore at all.
Oh, wasn't Pern salty?
Yeah.
I didn't even see Pern talk about it, but knew that was coming.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The
reason why they did it is because Pern. So good on you, Pern.
Yeah. You had to go and say it on RuneScape Weekly when you know mods listen to the show, you scrub.
Yep. I mean, I think overall that's definitely a change for the better.
It makes more sense. You know, it's more in line with how the wilderness is supposed to function. Yeah, I agree.
Isn't it really weird that there was a real lack of actual patch notes this week? There was only a few.
It wasn't that long.
Wasn't many.
But we got an actual game update.
Yeah.
Good or bad. You know, for the good or the bad there.
We're gonna try that bounty hunter. You know, go
I do.
Hunter worlds and just see.
I wanted to.
If it's as bad as what we have been seeing and hearing.
I wanted to let the dust settle before I tried it, because anytime you get a large combat update to the game, things generally are crazy. As Wolfo GE is saying on the Twitch side, it's good fun. The players only have themselves to blame. So
I mean,
let's see if that comment holds true, shall we?
I was gonna do Bounty Hunter from day one until I saw what happened and got completely demotivated to even try it.
Yeah.
So let's. I want to go at some point, but it's just sad what's going on.
Let's quickly open up here with a post by Snooty Cutie, who says, "Stop pointing the finger at Jagex and look in the mirror." So we'll open up the Bounty Hunter discussion with a post, and then we'll see where it goes from there. So, preface, I shouldn't have to write this, but considering what I'm about to write, it feels necessary. To those trying to play Bounty Hunter as intended, this post isn't directed at you. Don't be offended by what is written here, since it's not about you, and likewise, don't treat it as though it applies to you. If you're selling kills for cash, then make no mistake, you are the problem with this update. Abusing the flaws of Bounty Hunter to make a quick buck, then complaining that Jagex didn't go do enough to stop you from yourself is dishonest as it is hypocritical. Grow up, stop making Jagex the excuse for your own vapid desires, stop making Jagex the scapegoat for quote-unquote ruining PvP, stop pointing the finger at Jagex, telling them to fix the problem when the problem lies within you. I'll admit, there were several of us here on Reddit who claimed PvP would die off over time. I was one of them. We thought PvP would die off because balance between weapon tiers was too strict. Abilities at tier 90 simply were too strong and for other sensible reasons. After a little self-reflection, I thought perhaps we haven't given the update a proper chance, but goddamn, I did not see this happening. The community at large asked, in some cases, begged for PvP to be revived, and Jagex begrudgingly obliged when they didn't have to do a damn thing. Despite Jagex's best effort and countless development hours, what did players do with the opportunity presented to them? They boosted, scammed, and abused other players for gold. They played under the disguise of efficiency rather than in the spirit of the update. Rather than playing the update honestly, they sought out loopholes and technicalities to justify the actions of their twisted sense of morality because it was more profitable in the short term. If you have to resort to technicalities or loopholes because you can't recognize that what you're doing is wrong, that it actively hurts the honest players who are looking for the fun in the game and in a game and community that allows itself every update to have sunk into lower and lower depths. That has ruined the PvP before it's out the gate. Before there can be a problem with balance or complexity, then look no further than the effing mirror. The problem is you. I apologize, that was not written very well. I did my best to try and make those sound like actual sentences and not like somebody puked periods at random. That sounds grosser than intended. But yeah, I did my best to try and make that basically. He's saying here,
spot on. Snooty is spot on.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, the fact that there was that, there was the ability to boost the game doesn't mean that, just because like someone's security system goes down doesn't give you the right to loot their house just because there's a vulnerability. Like, we didn't have to abuse the game. I say we as a community. I myself have not bothered even participating in the event, mainly just due to lack of interest in PvP, but I was happily going to sit back and watch, and see what happens, and this is kind of what I expected, to say the least.
The question is, what can Jagex do to stop this boosting that's happening?
Well, I agree with Elite Power.
He
says, I don't disagree that boosters are against the spirit of minigames, but let's be real, adding wanted rewards to PvP will always make people find the easiest way to get them, which is the unfortunate truth, is people are always going to try to game the system, unless there are rules in place that punish them for doing so.
Exactly.
They're going to find yeah.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
That's literally the case in anything, though.
Yeah.
Like, people will find the easiest way to train in RuneScape. That's why botting is a thing.
Yeah.
Like, but we have rules against botting, and we enforce them. And to answer your question, DX, as to what Jagex can do, I think they've already done one thing. They've made it so you can't turn on those worlds. So, actually, it's like, well, you can just hop after the kill and things like that.
Which opens up to trust trading and scamming now.
Exactly. Well, it was still kind of trustworthy because you were I guess
Yeah.
you weren't always, but I think some of the payments were happening after the kill, some of them before. But anything you could do to make it harder to actually do right up front, I think helps. I think another thing that they could do, at least temporarily, is ban all chat on a bounty hunter world so that you can't talk to anybody if you're on that world. It would kind of suck.
And ban all trading as well, so that doesn't happen there too.
They did that.
Yeah.
They banned
You
trading.
can't, and anything you drop on the ground cannot be picked up by another player.
Yeah.
Right.
So, and I also think that, I think they kind of expected the elo system to take care of this a little bit quicker, which I think is what will happen in the long run. Is like, if you actually get good at bounty hunter, you'll stop getting matched with these people who want to sell kills, because nobody at the high level is going to want to sell kills.
Correct. Yeah.
The issue is actually getting to that point.
Yeah, it's so what you're saying is you have to play through a few hours of hell to get to the good gameplay, which in my opinion screams poor game design from the ground up. Is if you have to, if it's unenjoyable out the gate, then that's not good game design on the developer's part.
I agree on some level. I think Jagex underestimated the elitist community in some way, in my opinion.
Don't they always?
Yeah.
In
And
some way, shape, or form. Go ahead.
That's kind of the part of this post that I agree with. Like, people care. People. Like, this game has become quite a bit of min-maxing in every way, shape, and form, and it's killed a lot of things.
It has.
And
That's unfortunate.
like, we don't play mini games anymore, and part of that's probably because the rewards suck. But let's be honest, the rewards were never all that good back in the day. Like, it's just people don't want to XP waste or whatever. And sure, you give people a way to make money, they're gonna figure out a way to game it, which also really sucks. I think another thing that they honestly should do is they should explicitly make this against the rules.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe. I mean, and of course, people will always argue that, like, well, you can't ban everybody. Well, sure.
It would be real hard, but making an example of people, I mean, you know, if I shoplift from a store, right, like, that was against the rules, I should be punished for that. I may not get caught, but if I keep doing it, eventually I'm probably going to get caught, right?
Exactly, and you can't, like, the only thing you can do, in whether it's in the real world or in the game world, is enter detractors that would attract the majority of the community. Like, you can't stop everybody from botting, just like you can't stop everybody from boosting this game.
But if you make a
harder,
loophole, if you make it so hard that it basically becomes less efficient than doing it the legitimate way, then you kind of herd everyone back to saying, well, legitimate strategy is actually best strategy now, so we forget this method.
If you were literally risking your account to buy or sell a boost, then that's going to make you think twice. And sure, people would do it, but it would be way less than when, like, for the first day,
black markets,
most of the people doing it.
Yeah, black markets don't necessarily, you know, cause markets to fall apart. They just make them more dangerous to deal business in. That's all. That's what you had. That's the fine line you have to be careful with. Is where are people going to be at? Where are more people going to get hurt? Are more accounts going to get hurt by the devaluation of the weaponry and the selling of kills, or are more people going to get hurt in the long run who are going to participate in a trust trade system that has the chance of them getting scammed and yada yada yada? You know, where's the line of morality there? Is like, well, Jagex could increase the amount of security and drive it underground into the black market, right? We could do that.
I like the idea. I like the idea of maybe a banning. What about if the problem is what about if they ban them from, say, bounty hunter?
Everyone likes the idea of banning.
Then what will happen is they'll take their business over to the duel arena, and if they ban the duel arena, they'll go to the Gamer Squaddo, and then they'll ban it there, and then they'll go to bloody.
Well, we have no. You're just. I feel like you're just like talking to talk here. Like,
no, not at all. I'm just pointing out. You know, if they ban it in one place, they'll take it to another place, place B, and then place C and D and E.
Because the big problem here is the amount of gold that this interjects into the game, and the big problem is too is it's not just those weapons. Like, this was literally devaluing every weapon in the game, because if these things came in the quantity they were coming in the first day, and it stayed like that for an extended period of time, every weapon would crash.
Everyone would have those weapons.
Everyone would have those, but it would drive down the price of T90s.
Because there's cheap tier 88s.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I get where you're coming from there. So and again, my stance remains the same. I'm mildly agnostic here, because I'd like to see the data. And that's, you know, Jagex.
Which kind of data? You know, the data for people wanting to boost.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you exactly what data. So yes and no. There's more than that. There's more than that goes into my factorization here. But yes, there's the data on that. There's how much. So if we drive the selling of kills underground by making it a bannable offense. Now, obviously, the only way that's going to come about. Of issuing any real bans is going to be maybe player moderators. You're going to get people who are actually reporting people in game. You're going to obviously have false positives there, but you're going to have plenty of people who I'm sure will report people in game who are doing it. But as far as creating an automated system, yes, you could do that to an extent. It would require overhead because that is a heuristic based thing. It's not a script. It's not like a program that's doing it. It's two humans doing it, presumably. Therefore, again, it has to be a heuristics-based system looking for trigger points, not necessarily looking for a set line of actions by a third-party program. So it's gonna require some level of human overhead there to add to the customer service team as well. So I think
all banning does these days.
Of course. But that's what I'm saying is what you're asking for unreasonable? Because I think it might be unreasonable to ask Jagex to add that level of Big Brother into the game. I don't think that they would be able to police it. I don't think they have the manpower to be able to police it and to be able to do it accurately and fairly, I guess. Because they could do it. They could throw up a bunch of automated systems that are just catch-alls and then just not have any eyes on their automated systems and just assume the system is correct.
I think time-wise, it wouldn't be worth it.
That's my thing. Should this is this against the spirit of the game? Absolutely. Should people do it? No. You're an asshole if you do it. Should this be bannable? Yeah, probably. However, how do we go about doing it that is effective for Jagex, effective for the players, and effective efficiency-wise? How do we get all of those together?
I mean, that is definitely a balance. I don't even think you would necessarily need to enforce it extremely hard. There are plenty of things that are against the rules that aren't enforced as hard as, say, things like botting. So even if it's just against the rules and you don't put a ton of effort into actually
it'll deter
people,
the most basic of players, for sure.
I think it would deter the majority of players because...
account sharing is illegal, right?
I mean... It's hard to tell anymore because some
it is.
mods say it's not.
It absolutely is for RuneScape 3. It's in the rules. Like, it is. It's not an old school, I don't think, but it's literally in the rules for RuneScape 3. I know for a fact because they had that customer service AMA. Remember that a few months ago? And someone was like, "I account share," and they were like, "Give me your name." And the mod was like, "Can I have your name so I can ban you?"
I know, but there are other RS3 mods who have talked about it as if it's not. I mean, I feel like that's something where the rules
that's a problem where the rules aren't being properly enforced internally, it sounds like. Because if it's a bad rule, then it needs to be changed. You can't just not enforce it and still have it on the books, because that causes problems down the road. It also is kind of says you don't care about your legal system. From building RS Project, with all due respect to Jagex, I feel from seeing events like this that Jagex may not focus enough on the bad player's point of view. It might help them to think like someone who wants to game the system. Yeah, I mean, you would think that that's what the QA team is supposed to be doing, is thinking like people who are trying. Like, that's what should have been done in QA. The problem with the Bounty Hunter update is I don't think enough resources were available to it, being originally a TAP project, and I think it remained a TAP project for most of its development. I could be wrong, but I don't think they had the resources to QA it enough. And Mod Rahman really should have just not said what he said, because the second you say, "Oh, there's plenty of checks in place, there's no way, this is unboostable," the second you say that, you have just... someone else somewhere in the world just said challenge accepted. So don't be a cocky mother effer, and I think that you also, of course, that doesn't mean that there wasn't a problem with your content. Sure, the issue still remains, but at the very least, you're not going to incendiate people into wanting to openly look for an exploit. Maybe you would have given us... Do you think if they were a little more humble about Bounty Hunter, if it would have been received differently? If they took a more like laid back, humble approach, where they were like, "Yeah, we're open to change. This is, we don't know. Like, help us make this not gameable." Like, why is Jagex so against betas? I don't understand. When you have a huge chunk of PvP content that could change the way the game is played in the future, why not beta test this piece of content? Why not? PvPers got nothing better to do in RS3.
I don't even know if you would have seen that in the beta, because the thing is, like, the thing about RuneScape is the open economy very much affects how things are treated. So, like, you could have an open beta, but people don't care about making money in that open beta. So are they gonna sell kills to each other?
Yeah, well, I mean, in a beta, they might not be selling kills for profit, but you would think somebody would realize, like, hey, here's an inherent flaw in this system. You could totally just sell these kills this way. They may not do it, but I would hope that. And I can't guarantee. I cannot prove something. I can't prove a negative, right? Like you can say that, but I can't prove you wrong. Obviously, it's impossible because it didn't happen that way.
Well,
but I'd like to
like
think that we would have caught that in a beta, but I could be wrong.
I feel like their thought was that the elo system was gonna kick in quicker. Than
They put way too much not effort. They put way too much faith in that elo system for sure.
Yeah,
And
they just didn't. I don't think they expected like the majority of players to do it. Like maybe I'm wrong, but I don't know. I could easily see them just thinking, okay, some people are going to do this, but it's not going to be many, and the people who do it will get thrown down the elo system and bye. But then, like, even when you have literally P-mods are doing it, like, it just turned into... And then, like, me, like, the first day, like, if you go back in the Discord, like, right before the update came out, I said to post, I was like, I think I'm going to try to go get the bow and make some money this week doing Bounty Hunter. And then the update came out, and it made me feel like crap, because I was like, I do not want to boost this. Like, I just don't. And, like, all the reports were, like... You basically can't play unless you're boosting, because if you hit somebody who wants to boost, they will just log on you.
Yeah, to get another person.
Yeah, to get another person. So it's like you're just wasting freaking time trying to actually do it the right way. Like, you can just read chat logs of people just laughing at people who weren't selling kills. And so it completely motivated me, because I sat there like a lot of Monday and was just like, okay, I don't actually want to do this boosting. But on the other hand, it's a good way to make money, and I need money in RuneScape. But at the end, I was like, I can't do it. I can't, like, I just morally couldn't get over the idea of doing it.
How much money could you make an hour boosting?
If you were boosting, in like the first few hours, the bow itself was selling for like 300 mil, and you could get a bow in about 2 hours from boosting. So that's 150 mil an hour. And it was quickly dropping, so it was probably getting down to more like 50 mil an hour.
That's still ridiculous.
And of course, you were paying like 2 mil a kill, so you got to subtract that from it. So you were paying like 30 mil to get the item, but it was ridiculous. I mean, even if you weren't boosting, you could literally just sell kills and make a ton of money that way.
Yeah, I would just be selling myself. That didn't come out right. I would just be like selling my... Never mind. Hey, what's going on, Blood RSPS?
Keep digging your hole, mate.
Yeah.
We're enjoying it.
I'll keep digging at my hole. Anyway, we got another post here. This is actually related to rewards, the reward side of Bounty Hunter. We've talked about the mechanical side of Bounty Hunter. Let's talk about the reward side of Bounty Hunter, if my voice will remain with me, please. Pretty much every piece of competitive content in the game, be it safe minigames or dangerous PvP, suffers from the same problem, says Napcatty. Boosting has become the dominant method, if not the only way, to play minigames, including Castle Wars, Stealing Creation, Soul Wars, Mobilizing Armies, Great Ore Project, Heists, and Deathmatch, and whatever else. Soon Bounty Hunter will be doomed to the same fate. Why? Rewards are given purely for victories. Players will always attempt to play by the method which gives the best rate of rewards, and most of the time this means exploiting the system rather than playing as intended, as we were just talking about. Imposing rules such as thou shalt not use multiple accounts to rig a minigame is useless, as people will either find loopholes, ask a friend, or find a friend's chat of like-minded people, or just outright break the rule hoping not to get caught, and frankly, they rarely do. The only solution is to make the intended way to play the most rewarding way to play. Activity bars are archaic and obsolete. Surely there are better methods in 2016 to gauge whether a player is making an effort or not. This should be tailored individually for every minigame. What about the people who don't care about the game and just want to leech? Considering that a sizable population fits into the category of low-effort games, should probably still be an option, but slower for gaining the rewards. It frustrates me that Jagex would rather abandon minigames as a whole rather than try to address the root of the problem. So, and again, Harley, I'm pretty sure you brought up the whole fact of, like, unless playing the game properly is the most rewarding way to play, people are going to find a way around it, and they're gonna they're gonna play whatever the most rewarding way to play is. And I honestly don't blame them.
a big part of what the community that is currently left in the game will do. And then the people who don't want to play that way will be chased away because there's just not enough of us anymore. I think that's part of the problem. Like back in the day, I mean, there were always boosters, but they were a very small minority. But somehow over time, it has become the majority of players that will do it. And I think some of that's been encouraged by things like the comp keep, which they encourage figuring out the easiest way to get something, the way that you can pay either the least attention, or if it's the quickest and it's super quick, then you'll do it that way. But like, if you can just sit there and not pay any attention and get your rewards for comp, that's what you're gonna do.
Yeah, for sure. Elite says, although I really do think it is a shame, the much better Treasure Hunter outfit release has been overshadowed by Bounty Hunter. The skilling outfit release has been phenomenal in my opinion, and deserves credit. I agree. Does definitely deserve credit.
Agree. I am shocked at the reasonable amount of time it takes to get the outfits.
I haven't tried it yet.
I think it was something like, I can't remember the times now. Someone posted the times on Reddit, and I should have saved that article for the show, but I totally didn't even think about that. But what they were was extremely reasonable to me. I think it was maybe something like 40 hours if you're under 99.
That's pretty impressive. I mean, that's fair. That's exactly about where I wanted it to be if you were over 99. And I believe if you hit 120, the threshold goes down even more.
No,
correct?
I was saying under 99, I believe.
Oh, under 99. Okay, that's kind of ridiculous, actually.
I believe so. Yeah, I'm kind of worried that they're going to change it. I mean, I think it's totally fair. Like, it still takes a decent amount of time, but not because you don't want to have it like take as long as the skill does to get to that level. You know, you want it to still be super useful to people. And like the thing about like, especially the mining outfit, like the mining outfit's only really useful from 70 to 89. So like if you get it after 89, like are you really ever going to use it? I mean, I don't really see a point to go into Living Rock Caverns when you can do Sarin Stones.
Heck yeah. Now, I would love to go and try out the 120 threshold, but I already have the Magic Golem outfit, so I'm going to have to just try the rune crafting one, I suppose, at some point in time. But yeah, even at 99, so if it's only going to take, I mean, that's literally just, I kind of agree with Zenel, who says I'd almost say you get outfits too fast. I was assuming that like 120, it would take like 30 hours, not like pre-99. So that's interesting. I don't know. That's either way. I mean, the fact that you can get them not via Treasure Hunter, I'm not going to complain about that. I'm not, what am I going to say? Oh, that devalues Treasure Hunter. You can get them too easily. Like the argument doesn't work in that direction, does it?
Please devalue Treasure Hunter.
Exactly. The argument that's a one-way argument. The argument doesn't work that way. So I'm kind of fine with them devaluing Treasure Hunter and putting it into the actual skill. That's the funny thing, though, is that you bring up there's Lumberjack doesn't take too long. Well, look like the other ones, the non-elite skilling outfits. Like I went through from 80 something to 99 thieving and did not get a full set of Black Ibis in Pyramid Plunder. It's like there are non-elite versions of outfits that I don't have that are harder to get than the elite outfit, and that's a little silly. But, whatever. Am I really going to complain about that? No. But a little bit. Anyway, so that's that. Let's continue on here. We're going to move into the TLDW unless anyone wants to bring up anything else in regards to these skilling outfits or previous topics at hand.
I'm just over here in the Bounty Hunter worlds, and most of them are just like, they're not fighting. They're just standing still, just dancing around doing their emotes. Most of them, and this is
Welcome
in both
to Runescape.
EOC. This is in both EOC and Legacy worlds.
They're probably waiting for a target, I would guess. You gotta wait, so it can take up to like 15 minutes for a target.
And they're also hanging out in the very low wildy, just as you jump the ditch.
Yeah, which is you want to be single way combat, so that's why you're gonna hang out there. And I also think, I think Bounty Hunter is gonna be very much like peak times are gonna be the busiest, of course. Like, and I don't know that we're not really close to a peak time right now, so that's probably part of why there's not a ton of activity. Plus, waiting for targets. They have made some of the changes they made. Like we said, they removed the option to trade, and they also made it take way longer to get a tier 10. I think you need something like between 20 and 30 kills now to get a tier 10, whatever the thing is called, which a tier 10 basically guarantees you, the emblems. A tier 10 guarantees you a weapon, because the weapons are 30k. I think the tier 10 is worth 40k points. So it's
according to Wolf of GE from Twitch, they say plenty of people fighting on Legacy World. PvP has always had players sitting at the ditch watching. It's a blood sport.
Yes, that I can confirm that. It looks like more of the people are actually fighting in the Legacy World rather than the EOC World.
Yeah, I think that's just because that's what more people are used to in
Because
the game.
Legacy Combat is so much easier to manage in PvP. Ugh. I don't even... if I were to go PvPing, it would be Legacy. I'm a scrub.
I mean,
Yeah, me too.
I've said this a little bit before, but I really do think that one of the things this shows, and one of the things that Dead Minigames shows, is that the PvP and minigames are two things that really just need to be completely rethought from the ground up.
Yeah,
that kind
completely
of as that
reimagined.
article talked about. Yeah, we need to imagine it for a modern RuneScape and a modern era where people are bored of the old mechanics and just give it new and interesting things. I can't, for minigames, I can't really say what they could do exactly. For PvP, I went pretty in depth on that last show, so I won't go into it again.
That was a good discussion. If you missed that, go back and listen to the last show, because that was a great discussion we had. Last show in general was just fantastic. Anyway, shall we move along to the Q&A? Are we ready?
Let's do it.
All right, let's do it. So first up is a section entitled Bounty Hunter. So, aptly. It says, we will hotfix issues where we can. Changes are being made to limit boosting. Boosting can't be completely removed, but we can make effort needed to make boost worth not doing. Removing Bounty Hunter reward weapons from Iron Man accounts and refunding their points as well. Why? What happened to Iron Man? Did they get stuff they weren't supposed to purchase?
They were all boosting for the weapons, so they're getting tier 87 weapons in 2 hours, which completely devalues every other weapon that they need, basically. So
yeah, that's
for that reason.
But they're going to refund their points, though? It's just like...
Yes, they are.
So they can just buy the weapon again, though, no?
No, they're going to make it so that they don't have access to the
weapons.
weapons.
They're making it non-purchasable for Iron Man.
Yep.
That's probably that's a smart idea. All right, bank rework. Releasing the ideal design document to players in the near future. Oh, I can't wait to get my hands on that. That'll be a fun show. The ideal design may not be possible due to technical limitations. Isn't that always the case? So basically, remember that all those cool ideas you wanted? Yeah, we're probably going to get like the very baseline of what we saw. We'll be lucky if we get placeholders, let's be honest. We will gather feedback and community changes where possible. So, not a whole heck of a lot going on via the bank rework there. They're being kind of...
give us some beta testing on the bank rework, and
you would think
some decent feedback.
You would think that
they will
something
be.
That large.
They've already said that.
Okay, I hope so.
They said they will be beta testing that, and if there's any issues, they will be fixing them and then beta testing again until it's working perfectly.
Now we can just talk about how we make a beta server that people want to play on.
I was always on the bloody beta servers, but the problem was with the beta servers is everybody was just busy wanting to trade each other for bloody for GP and stuff like that. So
people were just dicking around. A RuneScape beta server has always been like waking up in a dream and realizing you're lucid, and it's like, I can do anything I want and it doesn't matter. Like nobody.
Yeah, but then they started to trade each other stupidly.
Well, yeah, because they're dumb. People were you could just stake your entire bank and it doesn't matter. You can go fight any boss you want.
Iphanica was probably the only one there. Iphanica was probably the only one there who was actually doing beta testing.
I bet you're right. DX's special own brand of beta testing.
Well, I mean, this is the problem with the betas in any game, and why a lot of times they aren't useful, because it is very hard to get actual people like motivated to test them out extensively. Because like, there's no reward. I mean, we're speaking about Bounty Hunter.
Real.
And how
you doing? Sorry. Good.
We're speaking about Bounty Hunter and how much of an XP waste, how people are boosting that. It's like people aren't going to waste, quote unquote, their time on a beta, because then they're not getting GP in RuneScape or getting XP in RuneScape, and that seems to be a lot of the community we have.
Yeah, it does. It does indeed. There was a comment that I wanted. Oh yeah, let me grab Elite's comment here. I think it's pointed. It says, so No reason to buy keys when the new outfits come out now, because you'll listen to the babies who cry until they get what they want, by Druid on the forum. So, I mean, this is the thing about these outfits when they come out, right? They're going to be on Treasure Hunter, and then we're not going to see them available in game for like at least 4 months. I think that was the baseline, at least. So I still think there's plenty of value there for people who want them immediately.
There's no reason to buy keys for XP in the game, because you can just play the game and train your skill up, and
Yeah,
so
exactly.
why do people buy keys for that? I mean,
exactly, mind really blown. Yeah, it is.
Right.
Exactly.
People,
so
it's
all about priority.
If you want shit faster, do it there.
Yeah,
that's always been the goal, and now elite outfits are in the same place, which I think is a very good thing.
I don't think he would argue against that. They are better there, but yeah, that's not a very good argument from Druid on the forums.
Nope.
Make the beta server give out the Game Breaker title unless your name is Dxthelb.
Thanks a lot.
That guy might be like one of the 2 Treasure Hunter fanboys in the world.
Yeah, who are the 2 Treasure Hunter fanboys in the world? What?
Druid, that guy on the forums, and one of our sometimes hosts on the show.
Yes, that's right. All right, and let's move along to the miscellaneous section here. There will be a batch of ninja fixes to Runespan soon. That broke my mind. I saw RuneScape Spoon. It's Runespan soon. I read RuneScape Spoon. Like on my brain, I'm like, I know this sentence is wrong, and I'm like, brain, you need to figure this out in like half a second before it comes out of my mouth, and I say RuneScape Spoon.
Hey, Sandal, how quickly can you come up with the design doc for a RuneScape Spoon for Magebit?
Little Tuzzy and Krar Jr. pet overrides have been completed, so they'll be out in a couple of weeks. We got to see pictures of those earlier. Barrow Bubble heads are next on the override target list, so that'll be out in a couple of months. Varrock entry hits, entry camera has been completed and will be released in 2 weeks. And moving on to this month's biggest update, in my opinion, the Children of Mah. Really looking forward to this. This is coming out on the 21st of November. It's going to be equivalent in length to the Fate of the Gods quest, unless you spacebar through it, which we will not be doing, of course. And we got to listen to Children of Mah. We'll be playing the Children of Mah medley in the opening when we live stream it on Monday. There will be an early bird bonus for completion in the first 2 weeks. Hopefully we can do it in the first 2 hours. But we'll see about that. They haven't really spoken too much as far as difficulty goes in this quest. So again, it's going to start with Karashi. You'll view the original betrayal at Sintistan. That's going to be badass. I'm super looking forward to being able to do that. View the original betrayal at Sintistan. View Zeros and Zamorak's first reunion since the betrayal. Magerad are having their power drained, which means the ritual will have to occur more frequently. So they've been mentioning this whole, like, the ritual it has to be performed again, right? It's being drained. Is there any, excuse me for that, is there any lore to that? I'm looking at the chat mainly for this. I'd be curious to know if there's any lore behind that.
We're gonna discover what's going on in the quest.
Yeah.
I suppose so.
I think we're probably going to find out the way that they were talking about it. I think we're going to find out early why the power's being drained.
And I mean,
I think we already know why. For people who'd already completed the ritual of the Magerad, we already know why. Go ahead.
Because I completed the ritual, but it was like years ago. I don't remember.
Okay, well, have you got like a warning spoiler alert thing sound or something, Mage?
Say what? I don't have
like a warning sound.
I don't, but if you haven't done Ritual of the Magerat, I guess it should be known now that if you don't want it spoiled, you may want to go ahead and skip ahead about 30 seconds there.
Alright, because they draw their power from the Stone of Jazz. And Slisky, as I last understood, last time I checked, didn't Slisky have the Stone of Jazz, and he had it in some sort of after area from one of the recent quests? I just can't remember what it was called.
Are you thinking of While Gothic Sleeps? which is like 8
No,
years
it
old.
was after. No, it was after that. It was more
You thinking
recent
of
one. It
the
might have been
World
Honor
Wakes?
Amongst. No, it might have been Honor Among Thieves.
Dishonor Amongst Thieves, I believe also the Stone of Jazz was present in, yeah, because Zamorak was attempting to steal it, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah,
Sliske,
there
I
was
believe.
some, yeah, well, yes, we know Sliske has the stone, that's what this entire year has been about, as to who he's going to give the stone to.
Well, that's. I mean, my guess is that Saliske using the stone in some way is draining the Magebit power.
That's what I'm thinking.
I guess that's a possibility, is the stone is draining their power. Would that mean that they're using the stone, do you think?
Well, I mean, I'm guessing Saliske is doing some kind of crazy crap with it.
Wasn't
I
the
suppose
Stone
so.
of Jazz? The Stone of Jazz. The Dragonkin draw their power from the Stone of Jazz. So maybe the Dragonkin has something to do with the Majorat as well.
Well, I mean, the Majorat and the Dragonkin are two completely separate races. I think, were they both? I don't honestly know if the Dragonkin were created by Elder Gods or not, or what. I'm not a lore expert, that's for sure. And I guess I shouldn't be allowed to talk about these types of things because I'm not well versed enough on this. So, with that being said, I guess we can just continue on and I'll keep reading on here. So the requirements are going to be the Light Within, Dishonor Amongst Thieves, Fate of the Gods, and Kashi's Troubles mini quest. So of course, there will be combat in the quest, but there is no boss fight. So no boss fight sounds good to me. That also might mean puzzles. So keep that in mind as well, as this could be puzzle heavy if there's no boss fight. As far as monsters go.
Since Runescape is going to be involved, there's going to at least be more of that kind of puzzle, finding the right path and not dying from all the damage you're going to be taking.
Yeah, lovely, I suppose. So again, the rewards, if you're interested here, I really hope that they're not just telling us all the rewards pre-quest. That makes me kind of sad. But you're going to get 2 quest points, Karashi Bobblehead and Zamorak's Majorat Armor Override, Shard of Mah, which protects against aggressive mobs in God Wars Dungeon 2 and raises the multiplier cap to 400%. A new Slayer creature, which has difficulty similar or less so than the current elite Slayer monster mobs. So they're going to be tough stats. They require good gear, but not as demanding as like Ripper Demons and Acheron Mammoth and stuff like that. It's going to drop a Tier 85 ranged power glove, and the glove allows you to use snipe while moving, and they degrade to a broken state. Also, the ability to use ancient memories in the Gothixian cache, distraction, and diversion, which gives 1 extra point than a large memory, and it's purple. So that's cool to know. Anyway, this will also add Master Quest requirements. Go ahead.
The Shard of Mah is kind of the most useless item, in my opinion, because it's not like God of Wars 1 where like you can actually get ganged up and die very easily there. I don't know. I mean, the multiplier to 400% will be somewhat useful, but other than that, it's not going to be like the God Wars 1 one where you want it all the time.
Yeah, I suppose not. Raising the cap is kind of cool, I suppose, so you can get it done faster, but it's certainly not gonna... It's not an end-all, be-all, that's for sure.
Doesn't all the monsters in the God Wars Dungeon 2 kind of roam around like mobs?
They do. They run around, and there are some that are aggressive, some are not. So the ones that are aggressive will not be aggressive anymore.
I think,
unless you attack them, of course.
I thought they were all aggressive. It's just they're a lot of time they're just distracted by each other in God Wars 2. Like in God Wars 1, they seem to focus you first, but in God Wars 2, they're fighting each other so much that you don't get noticed unless there's only like 3 of them left.
If I'm in like a specifically like for instance, if I'm like going to Zeros, right, and I'm just hanging outside the Zeros portal, there are monsters there that will just walk by me, and there are certain ones that attack me. Like I notice the Rangers seem to like to attack me, whereas the Bloodvelds tend to just not do anything. I don't know if that just has to do with leftover programming from maybe Bloodvelds in particular from Slayer or something, where they're just not they're not an aggressive creature. I don't know, or maybe I'm just completely wrong. That's also a possibility because I don't go there as often as you do, so I'd be more willing to believe you than my shoddy memory. So, allow us to continue on from there. So for the Master Quest Cape, you're going to need to collect all the letters from Sentistan's dig site empty throne room, and you'll also need to collect certain things on Friendescape during the quest as well, so be ready for that. And
more memories.
Could be. And other section includes every living Majorette has been graphically updated. There will be a trailer for the quest. The Slayer creature will have a toggle for Slayer tasks. I'm sorry, will have a toggle? I thought it wasn't going to have a toggle. So, was that changed? So I remember reading another document where they say Slayer will not be toggleable, meaning, like, it better not be a shitty mob. But it says here that it will. So, if it does, then cool. Children of Mah will not automatically pick up aggression fragments, nor will it work in God Wars Dungeon 1. There will be no post-quest dialogue, nor will the quest be voice-acted. The choices in the quest will not directly affect the endgame. The events will. So there you go. That is your TLDW, number 265, Children of Mah. Go for it.
First of all, yeah, before we go on to anything else, I got to say, at the start, Mod Kelpie and Mod Shawnee, they looked really pissed about the fact that people were abusing the bounty hunter.
I didn't really see that, but
Kelpie was really disappointed in the RuneScape community.
I thought he was just tired, but I didn't watch the whole live stream, but I didn't get that vibe.
Well, the first 10 minutes were the only part that I think Jagex was talking about, and I kind of agree with
Yeah, it's
him.
like the only part that I watched.
Yeah, he looked more exhausted than anything else. And I mean, he's, I don't know. He sounded like regular Kelpie, just a more tired version and possibly more frustrated, because I imagine the thing is he's also probably getting a lot of crap from his bosses for this, because this is
I can imagine.
A good update for the economy of RuneScape in general.
Yeah, they did done screw up.
It's not fair to Kelpie. It's not Kelpie at all.
No, it's not. And I'm sure, I believe me, or believe me if you want, but I'm sure he's not the only one who's getting shit, He is the lead ninja, so.
Exactly. And I mean, I do agree on some level that the community, is to blame for how far the abuse has gone, but still when you're designing something, you are still somewhat accountable for making sure that design isn't as easily gameable as this one was.
Yeah. Well, Wolf of G is on your side, DX. He says it was very clear he was pissed off. Maybe I'm just a sociopath and don't see emotions.
I mean, I think Kelpie's always pissed off, so that's why
I know, exactly.
Different.
I know, Kelpie always has that
more.
Kelpie always has that look of like, I hate you and everyone around me. So yeah, I don't know. I guess maybe I think he always looks like that, so I just didn't pick up on it. But yeah, I'd probably be pissed off if I was him. It's just like you spend all this time on an update and then it gets ruined in the first few hours. Yeah,
it's kind of sad that this is like the second economy breaking update we've gotten this year, where we had invention for those first 2 days.
Well, we started the year off with one, and we're gonna end the year with one. How's that? Yeah. There we go. We've come full circle. Poor RuneScape. I mean, they've had a rough year. 2016 has been a rough year for RuneScape updates. So thankfully it's coming to an end. Maybe 2017, and their whole expansion program will go smoother. I'll be interested to see in that. Anyway, why don't we continue along here? Our first follow-up post to the Q&A is called "Children of Mah Rewards Are Disappointing." This is by At Its Rain, who says, anyone think Children of Mah's quest reward is kind of disappointing? You get a bunch of XP, then range gloves that allow you to move while sniping, and a bobblehead that 2% of us will use. Why not get some new ranged abilities? So
the quest hasn't even come out yet, and they're already complaining about the rewards.
That's because they already told us the rewards. I think they should not tell us the rewards ahead of time, or at least not all the rewards. Leave some mystery so people can complain later. We can, let people have some of that, that feeling of mystery, so we don't have to be disappointed in advance. We can be disappointed after the fact.
I mean, I kind of agree with this as far as how it goes. I mean, for how big they're pitching this quest and how big of a piece of story it's supposed to be, the rewards do kind of seem But I guess it's also kind of what you get when they're doing a ton.
You want to know what the reward is? The reward is the journey in the quest.
That's deep.
I mean, that's what I enjoy most about the quests, at least, is, I mean, yeah, it's great when a quest unlocks, and some OP new item that I get to have, for sure. But I don't think that, especially as you get closer and closer to the max end of the game, really, like the end game, is you really care less about the material rewards and more about just getting game content to play. And, yeah, were the rewards amazing? No. But this quest doesn't sound like it's going to have a difficulty level of anything higher than, like, maybe Master. I mean, this just doesn't sound like a very difficult quest. Could be wrong. I'm speculating. I mean, we're also speculating that the rewards suck. Maybe there's something they haven't told us yet. I don't know. Or maybe they're not as bad as we are saying they are. Who knows? But certainly not me. Anyone else? Take a stab at that? Let's see.
I'm good.
I'm just taking a look at its official difficulty here. The official difficulty is listed as Grand Master. So I'm going to have to say that if that official difficulty sticks with launch, which it might not, but if it does, then yes, for a Grandmaster quest, the rewards are kind of lame. I will say that. Grandmaster quests should have a difficulty level of Grandmaster, and this doesn't sound like it has a difficulty level of Grandmaster, but maybe they're not. Maybe they are withholding some of the difficulty. Like, they're not talking about what kind of puzzles. They say there's combat but not bosses. That doesn't mean there isn't difficult mobs, You could say, there's combat but not bosses in, Morning's End Part 2. I just happened to leave out the aneurysm-inducing puzzle. Because, they've done that here. They say there's combat but not bosses, but they're not saying there's puzzles or not puzzles. They're just not saying anything. So they may be lying through omission here. If it has some decent XP reward, I'm happy with that shard. It's like an upgrade to the original shard. It is and it isn't. Like, it only works in God Wars 2, so it's not technically an upgrade. But in the succession form, yeah, it's a spiritual upgrade from God Wars 1 to God Wars 2. You got that shard to that shard for sure. And I think it's just as useful as the God Wars Dungeon 1 shard. Definitely not going to argue with that there. But I feel like the God Wars Dungeon 2 just doesn't need it as much as God Wars Dungeon 1 was. I'm going to have to agree with Harley on, like, the compact nature of God Wars 1, where the monsters are, for the most part, not fighting with each other outside of, like, maybe, like, the main heart area. I feel like in God Wars 1, it was much more of a cluster F, if you will. However, with that also being said, we should be able to combine the two shards. It's not a bad idea. With that being said, you're obviously, if you're doing like God Wars 1, you're probably of a lower tier combat-wise than if you're doing God Wars 2, so it's easier to handle multiple mobs probably by the time you've gotten the experience level of God Wars 2 versus God Wars 1. Maybe says you're a little bit newer at combat, which means you might have a harder time holding yourself against more mobs, meaning having that Shard of Zeros is actually a pretty big deal when you're a lower level. But anyway, I digress. I do agree, though. For a Grandmaster quest, rewards could be better. Those gloves.
I think they're hiding something big back.
I hope, but I don't know how big they could possibly do. Without, because those rewards are pretty filling. They're like master level rewards, not Grandmaster.
Well, I think part of the issue is they're doing so many big quests this year.
Like
we've had like Lord of Vampirium, which has pretty great wars if you are a PVMer, and I can't think of the other quests that have come out, but there's been a lot of big quests with rewards.
Yeah, you're not wrong. Yeah. But those quests are, they're hard, and they're walled behind a lot of other quests, and so is this one. So
hopefully, maybe there's some invention stuff they're hiding. I mean, they keep saying they're going to make invention a reward space. I'm kind of surprised there isn't some invention stuff in here, especially because they did say at the beginning of the year one of the things they were going to do is have invention be in basically everything that came out.
Yeah, it was going to be like... Yeah, the entire year was supposed to be invention, where every piece of content that came out was going to have some little bit of invention tied into it. That lasted, like 2 updates?
Yep, pretty much.
What do you mean I got to include some invention crap in this? I can barely get the update out. Is probably how that conversation went. Anyway, let's continue on here. This is on the topic of the Ninja team being overloaded, possibly. I mean, the Ninja team was created mainly to do little things here and there, to make the game better as the development team was creating new content. The Ninja team was never meant to be one of the powerhouse developer squads, so they seem to have kind of taken on that role in the latter half of this year and into next year. So let's go ahead and read this post here by AlphaChan123 and see what they have to say. So it says, the following is my own opinion only. It is not targeted to blame anyone, mods and players alike. All data used here and from my memory of past broadcasts and posts. I apologize if any of them are incorrect, and please kindly point them out. Looking in the past few months, the Ninja team has announced to take on some rather big projects in addition to their normal Ninja fixes. The first order of their big project is Bounty Hunter, which has just been released the past Monday after several delays. The new Bounty Hunter became a controversial topic because of boosters. This made me think about if the Ninja team had enough resources and time for development and QA. I'll try to compare contents recently released by two teams in Jagex, Ninja and the Watch. Firstly, the Ninjas. The most well-known of the Ninjas is obviously the Ninja Fixes. Just for those who don't know what that is, Ninja Fixes are small fixes ranging from correcting a typo to removing a tree. Done to improve our gaming experience. Another release known to players are the above-mentioned Bounty Hunter. This has been long known to be a troublesome project from different streams and posts. The future releases known to players are Christmas Event and Bank Rework, which will be released in late December and 2017 summer, respectively. Secondly, the Watch. Their current project is the Children of Mah, the quest releasing in the coming Monday. Children of Mah is a Grandmaster quest with loads of work to be done, as seen from the tiredness of Mod Ollie in Tuesday's stream. The last known big project of the Watch was Skilling Pets, which was released in August. According to Tuesday's stream, the Watch does not have future planned projects as of yet. If you stop here and compare the two teams' number of projects, you can just go on and say, nah, Ninja is having similar workload like the Watch. But let's have a closer look into the Ninja fixes. Have a look on all October's patch notes for an easier way to look for them. In 3/17/24 and 31/10, that's 4 out of 5 weeks of October, there were Ninja fixes. Let's not forget that these fixes are actually during the same time as them doing Bounty Hunter and or development and or Q&A. Factoring this in, we will see the Ninja team was essentially taking on two projects at the same time. Unless the size of the Ninja team is significantly larger than the Watch, or the Watch was doing another project which we do not know of or that I missed, the Ninja team would be having to do double the workload. For argument's sake, let's assume this pattern is continued during Bank Rework next year. With players' high expectations, just like in Bounty Hunter, players are bound to check it out very thoroughly. Seriously, how do people find out tick eating and similar things? Tons of bug reports and feedback will be made during the public beta. With the Ninja's resources split between the rework and fixes, either the develop and testing time will be longer than being done without the split, or fewer improvements will be done to catch up the pace. Both of the scenarios are not ideal, not to say disappointing. And no, they can't copy the code from old school RuneScape like part of Bounty Hunter to speed it up. God Ash, stated that the huge number of items in RuneScape 3 make it impossible to use old school RuneScape's code. I didn't know anyone ever had that question. That just seems like a horrible idea. A temporary solution
people who are not programmers have a very basic understanding of how that stuff works. Because I think if you have any kind of programming knowledge, you're like, that's insane.
I don't know jack shit about cars, right? But I'm just not like, hey, give me your exhaust pipe. Mine stopped working. No, you need I don't know, whatever. All right, I'm gonna give that one to you because I know. Anyway, a temporary solution for this is to increase the size of Ninja for the time being, add some mods to the team just for the rework to ensure both the rework and fixes are not neglected. In the long term, letting different teams cooperate in bigger projects such as the brand new minigame to increase the efficiency. What? Okay, they're talking about Bounty Hunter. It's weird when you call it a minigame. Right now, different teams in Jagex seem to be in projects independently. Resources, especially manpower, sometimes are better when grouped together. In the coming year, there are tons of big updates. Bank rework, Metaphos expansion, Shattered Worlds. I'll be honest with you, if we never see Shattered Worlds, I wouldn't be surprised. These are excellent ideas, but require a lot of resources. None of us would want the chaos occurred in Bounty Hunter to happen again because of the rush of time and resources. I'm not here to criticize the Ninja team or anyone. I love RuneScape, just as all of you who are reading this. What I want is for RuneScape to continue to prosper. Without RuneScape, all our lives would be very different. I know Ninjas, especially ModPie, has been and always will be putting their best effort to everything, and I'd like to thank you for doing so. So anyway, this post has gotten like zero attention from anyone, but they bring up some valid points here. Is the Ninja team overworked? It might look like that on the surface, but I don't know if we can say for sure one way or another. I mean, what team isn't overworked, I think, would be a better question. Ironically, like, we're all overworked.
The Ninja team are working on the wrong projects. I feel sorry for the poor buggers. I mean, they're supposed like the post says, they're supposed to be working on little things. Instead, they're working on these huge bloody things.
You're right. You're right.
And it's not right. They should be the projects should be passed on to the correct bloody teams.
But who are the correct teams? I agree that the Ninja team, the reason why the Ninja team was created initially was to work on small projects, but that doesn't mean that developers who are on the Ninja team can only handle small projects. These are very capable developers. I think it would be better if they just stopped calling themselves a Ninja Fix team and maybe, it was like Ninja team has evolved into whatever. Things change over time.
I mean, especially from what Mod Kelpie has said, a more accurate description of the team is a quality of life update. Like they fix.
Yeah, they do quality of life projects.
They fix things that are old and outdated. Like they turned Deathmatch used to be the Crucible, so they updated that. They brought Bounty Hunter back into the game. The bank rework is working on established systems. I think the thing about it is these are much bigger projects than what they were doing before, but I still think it in some ways fits within the scope of doing quality of life things. I guess I wasn't around paying close attention when the Ninja team first started, so I don't know what their original ethos was and how it was stated.
Their original status was just like the Ninja team is a small team of people whose job it is to listen to players' feedback, to pretty much do quality of life updates that were small and easy that could be attached to the patch notes each week. They got their own spotlight on the patch notes, and that's pretty much what they were, and it seems as though they're evolving and changing into a much larger, robust team.
I also think, like the further time goes on, the kind of the less small important things you have to do, so like sure they could be fixing typos every week, but like we would barely even notice the Ninja team. So it's like now they decided to move on to what they consider bigger projects, which I am honestly a fan of, even if it does go against kind of their original thing. And they still do spend quite a bit of their time doing fixes. It's like once a month we get a big Ninja week with it's just full of their patches.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, there are, and when you can know a week is a Ninja Fix week and still be like something quantifiable has been added to the game, that's when that the Ninjas are doing a good job. It's not like when most of the time when I hear the word patch notes, I think, oh, boring. It's just going to be a bunch of number changes, and in most games it is. But RuneScape has found a way to like make their patch notes like mildly interesting.
Yeah, Ninja weeks are actually pretty exciting to me. It generally means some really cool changes to how things work.
Building RS Project says, I think we'd also have to take into account the shift in development priorities with the addition of Chronicle and RuneScape Idle Adventures. Well, RuneScape Idle Adventures has a completely separate publisher, where RuneScape is the publisher, and Idle Adventures has literally its own development team in Canada, I believe, is where Hyper Hippo is founded. I could be incorrect about that, but I think Hyper Hippo,
you're right. I believe it is in Canada.
Is a Canadian company, so
I'm pretty sure.
That obviously, and you can't say that doesn't take resources though from Jagex, because obviously Jagex is paying Hyper Hippo, which means that's money that goes from their coffers to their, to Hyper Hippo's coffers, which means that's money that cannot be spent on development for RuneScape 3, obviously. Same goes for Chronicle as well. Though they have their own development team, yes, these are, these are separate people working on a separate game. However, that's still money that Jagex as a company is investing in that ancillary project that, of course, takes funds away from the main game, which, in my opinion, is dangerous given Jagex's history, but people seem to actually really like those two games. Go ahead.
Yeah, exactly. I think one of the things about these recent projects is they're not just trying to make another MMO, which is a very good thing. They've moved on to new ideas, which I think is very good for Chronicle and for Idle Adventures. Those are two markets of games that are very popular right now. And I haven't played Idle Adventures. I probably will once it actually comes out on the iPhone. But I can speak for Chronicle and say that is a very interesting take on a already very set genre.
Yeah, I have some pretty decent knowledge about Chronicle, and I really feel like if I were to go to another card game like Hearthstone or something, I would feel a little bit confused, because they play very differently as far as what you're actually fighting against. I think they did a really good job of making something different in a very tired gaming sphere. So, yeah.
I mean, even not Chronicle, even like Hearthstone itself is way more similar to other predecessors to Hearthstone than Chronicle is to Hearthstone. Like, that's something that a lot of people who don't play the game don't realize, but Chronicle actually adds a ton of new great ideas. But like, if you look at Hearthstone and you look at something like Magic the Gathering, they are actually pretty dang similar in a ton of ways. You have a board, you're playing these cards, even like the base of how the cards and what they do, it's very much copied from these other types of TCG games. And like Chronicle is literally you're playing against yourself as much as you're playing against the opponent.
Yeah, I really like that.
It makes it very special as compared to other card games.
I mean, all the base mechanics are still pretty much the same, but when you get to that like spice that they threw in there, it really turns the genre kind of upside down in some ways, and it's fun. It's really fun. I mean, it's also really, really frustrating because it's a card game, but I think that they created a product that's worth keeping alive and letting giving it a chance to take root.
Another thing is in the long run, sure, you have to put the initial investment into these games, but in the long run, they are supposed to start paying for themselves and then increase the longevity of the company. And I think one thing Jagex definitely needs is something other than RuneScape making money for it, because it's very dangerous to have only one game you're making money from, and especially like. I think that leads to things like Treasure Hunter becoming worse and worse. Like, to me, I would love it if Chronicle and Idle Adventures blow the hell up, because it would take some stress off of RuneScape 3 from having to make all the money to support the company.
Indeed. And if they could branch out, it would be great for the health of the company, and that's why I encourage them to certainly try. I think staying away from licensed titles is a good idea. Be unique, be creative, make something new. But yeah, any other thoughts on previous topics, or should I keep going along here? Keep moving it? Gonna keep moving it. So we're going to move over to the RuneScape official forums to complain about the RuneScape official forums. This is a post by a Rabpire who says, "Ditch Reddit!" Of course, aptly written on the RuneScape official forums. You're preaching to the choir, unfortunately. Probably go post Ditch Reddit on Reddit and see what people have to say if you want some actual feedback. But let's see what Rabpire has to say. He says, "I'm seriously tired of having to follow an external website like Reddit to read important information and comments written by Jagex mods. Posts that can only belong in one place, the RuneScape forums. I am not a Reddit member, nor do I wish to become one. This means that my comments, ideas, and feedback to Jagex mods will never be written, let alone read. As a player who, apart from a brief period when I was crossing the USA along Route 66, has been a paying member since 2004, I resent this." You resent being a paying member since 2004? You resent traveling across Route 66? Or you resent not being a Reddit member? Because those are the only things in this paragraph that you've posted here. Like, I'm gonna do it. I'm going English on this person's ass here. Like, you can't. First of all, I'm totally ignoring the fact that there is no period anywhere from where it says as a player onward is just one long run-on sentence with like 3 different ideas in it here. You just have I resent this on its own as if this has become a poem. Maybe I'm reading a screenplay. I don't know. Just on its own. I'll bring it over here on the live screen. I resent this. Okay, it's on its own line here. There's no punctuation above it. This entire thing is a sentence here. No, it's not, because this is a thought, and then this is a thought, and then this is a thought. Like, you have 3 different thoughts here jammed into one sentence. Like, help me. This is why stick with Reddit. No. Anyway, I file bug reports, support the RuneScape community, play RuneScape 6 to 8 hours a day, read the lore, think about the game, and in every way support and enjoy it. It's a little over the top here. I mean, you don't have to tell us what you do in your spare time. Like, I think about the game. Okay.
This is why I like the RuneScape forums, because that
Me
way
too.
you get to read that way you get to read these posts and go all English on everybody.
I do not enjoy that important game information and discussions are being moved outside of the RuneScape sphere and by the staff presumably paid by Jagex, including by my subscription money. There's what? Like, no information that's not on Reddit that is posted by Jagex is also not posted in the forum. Occasionally when a mod does like a small project, like post a straw poll or something like that, that doesn't impact like anything really here or there. They're just fishing for data, and I don't mean fishing in a bad way. I mean in the FISH way. Yeah, I want to be shot in the face right now. Go ahead.
You'll miss mod replies to like community topics, but that's not like it's not like they should mirror all that stuff over in the forums. I mean, this is like complaining like. I'm never gonna buy a car, so stop making the roads only for cars when I need to take my horse out. Like, what?
Exactly. Reddit is a far superior system, as Building RS Project saying there. Reddit's comment system is far better than the RuneScape forums. Reddit in general is better than any forums. I mean, Reddit is a form of a forum. It is a gathering of people voicing their opinions and having a discussion. That is what a forum is. You know, forums used to be a physical thing. Go ahead.
I warmed up to Reddit because originally I didn't really pay much attention to it, but I kind of warmed up to it, and now I've found it's a really useful forum, a place to post, a place to hang out and talk about things, you know, stuff like that. And also Twitter is also the second best choice. So because the RuneScape forums are stale at the moment, that's why people are posting on the other 2 forums.
I think it's the other way around. I think I think the forums are stale because people are posting on these other platforms because they're better. I personally am not crazy about Twitter as an information platform. I have a hard time. That's me personally. I just have a hard time parsing information from it, and I'm sure I'm doing it wrong. But Reddit works great, where everything just, you know, all the cream floats to the top, and all the shit just sinks to the bottom. That's great.
Yeah, it's very good for. I mean, Reddit has tons of problems. We don't need to actually talk about those. But
Sure.
as far as like hosting a gaming community, it's
Yeah.
great for it because it allows, like you said, like the upvote and downvote system is pretty much perfect for discussing gaming topics. It allows, like, it's not like a forum where like the next post, you know, pushes your topic down unless somebody comments on it, and you know, like it has a much better hierarchy for actually keeping important topics near the top.
And correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think Reddit has that patented or like trade. I don't even know if they have it trademarked. Like, why can't they just add an upvote downvote system to the forums and remove post bumping?
I mean, I think that you would. I don't think anyone has like designed. I mean, and actually, there might be third-party tools to do that. I don't know what the forums is actually built on.
I don't know. I believe Jagex has their own. Excuse me, custom forums installed. Okay. I believe they're completely written from scratch. I don't know what they use to do it, but I'm pretty sure they have their own private system.
Gotcha.
And I don't know what it is exactly it's based off of. That being said, I feel like a PHPBB system or something like that could easily be modified to do that with, you know, minor to moderate coding abilities.
I also think part of it is you go where the people are. Like there was a
Yeah.
time on the internet where we all gathered on like the specific creator's website and hung out there, but that has changed so much over the years. Where I mean, like I was making fun of the whole horse and car thing. Like it's just like the people are on Reddit, and they're on Reddit because you can do more than just talk about RuneScape there. Like you can go to the Overwatch subreddit, you can go to the cats subreddit and look at cat pics. Like that's why people use these things, because it's not a one use thing, and one use things are only so useful to a certain amount of people because some people want to do more than one thing.
Yeah. What happens when RuneScape dies? What happens to RuneScape Weekly? Well, that's what happens when you make yourself a one brand thing, right? No, but in all seriousness, like RuneScape's forums can only dictate to RuneScape is what I'm saying here. So yeah, it's only going to be so interesting as what RuneScape can provide for sure. And then on top of that, it's just the versatility of a forum is just garbage compared to what we have available nowadays. And Reddit is far superior in communication. And Twitter is also far superior in communication if you want to talk about like private messaging. I can get down with Twitter being a better form of like direct messaging. I think I use lists correctly or something with Twitter. I don't know.
Lists aren't actually a very highly used feature.
I don't know what I'm doing wrong, but anytime I go to Twitter, I just feel like I'm being yelled at by the ether itself. It's just random nonsense being thrown at me.
I think Twitter I think you have to be of a certain.
Well, the thing is, Facebook should feel the same way. Because it is.
I honestly, they're not, in my opinion.
They're very different platforms, but I mean, like, as far as the way I'm using them, they're literally just an information feed for me. Why is one so different than the other? I don't know. I assume it's the work that I've put into it to, follow the right sources and then prioritize the sources in a way that I want them to. And I've taken the time to do that on Facebook. I have not on Twitter. And that could be my issue.
That is definitely a big part of Twitter is the curating of sources and things like that. I've spent quite a few years actually getting all those things. And to me, one of the best things about Twitter, although this is becoming less and less if you use first-party apps, which I do not use first-party. I use all third-party clients for Twitter. But I really enjoy the chronological timeline that just gives you all your info. Like it's not trying. One thing I hate about Facebook is the algorithm that tries to decide what post I will like the most based on like my history. Because it's like sometimes I will get bored and click on crappy BuzzFeed articles.
Sure.
But it does not mean that I want to see crappy BuzzFeed articles all the time. It just means I was bored that one day. But Facebook is like, oh, you clicked on that, so that means you really liked that. And I'm like, nope, it doesn't actually mean that.
See, I don't have that problem. But I also tell Facebook exactly what I want to see first. Which makes me always see the news that is most interesting to me before I see anything else.
I am a chronological timeline believer. I would rather have everything just show up as to exactly the time it was posted and scroll through that list and skip over what I don't like than have any kind of algorithm, especially because most of these algorithms, they're all built on literally just trying to sell you more ads. Like Facebook switched to an algorithm not to make users see more important stuff, but because it makes it way easier to sell ads if you were literally manipulating what people see. And not just even ads, but like BuzzFeed can pay money to make the article they post more popular. They won't even be called an ad. It would just be like, here's this BuzzFeed post, and since you follow them, like Facebook made a change a few years ago where even if you follow a page, their stuff is way less likely to show up unless they pay money for it to show up on your newsfeed.
Yeah, I heard about that. That's not cool. That is not cool at all. That being said,
huge digression right there, but
that being said, I just personally have a hard time with getting I don't know what it is, and I think it's just really laziness on my behalf.
I mean, I think that it sounds like just the way Facebook, the style that Facebook works in is more to your liking. I mean, because the two social networks definitely have way different styles in how they operate. Yeah,
they do. I mean, ads don't bother me. I see right through them, and sometimes I actually am interested. I'm always interested in new technology. So when a company advertises, because they get the advertising right for me, like I would say probably about 80% of the time. Have they ever initiated a sale? No. They've certainly gotten me to look at things in the past. But as far as that goes, then I always want to see certain things first, no matter what. Like, I don't give a crap really about any of my like actual friends. I want to see certain news articles first always, because I'm, you know, if it has to do with MMORPGs, it pretty much floats to the top. If it has to do with politics, it pretty much floats to the top. And then everything else just kind of falls in line chronologically from there on out. That's how I pretty much have it set up to work. Shout out to all those brave men and women who sit through the new posts and new posts. We do that occasionally when we're super desperate for topics, is go to the news section. Anyway, ditch Reddit? Probably not. Shall we continue on and get a warning from a whale? This post excites me. I haven't read through this yet, but
That's a great post.
For those of you who don't know, and then for those of you who want to know how much does it really cost? It's about $15,300 if you want to max an account out, using only the best promotions. So for those of you who are unaware, a friend has finally finished his pay-to-win account. It maxed out, I believe, at about $15,300. So that's what it would take if you wanted to use Treasure Hunter when it has the best promotional deals on, to, you know, pretty much buy your way into the Max Guild. But anyway, this is a warning from a whale as to probably why you shouldn't do that. So it says here, let me start by saying that I fully expect to be flamed on this post, and that's fine. I'm happy to accept that. This post isn't meant to be a negative thing at all, but nevertheless, the things I'm about to say need to be said, regardless of what people think. I love it when people think they have something that needs to be said. Let's start. It does need to be said. I'm fair enough. I like it when people say that. That's all. But you're right. It doesn't apply to this specific scenario. Let's start with a bit of context to my situation and why I feel qualified to comment. I came back to RuneScape 3 in June after a break of roughly 3 to 4 years. When I last played RuneScape, it was difficult. It was different. It was a very different landscape to how it was now. Squeal of Fortune was a thing, of course, but it wasn't as prevalent or as much of a competitive advantage, in my opinion, as Treasure Hunter is now. Ironically, that's funny. Coming back to RuneScape 3, I've had very little cash, around 20 million in total. As a friend had asked me to get back into the game, I wanted some liquid assets to get the ball rolling a little bit quicker, so I bought 10 bonds to get me started, costing £34.99. After all, I'm in a good job now, and with an okay salary, what's £35, I thought. What this did, though, was completely change the perspective through which I played the game. When I had played in the years past, I'd never had the cash to invest into the fastest methods of skilling. It was the grind or nothing for me. Now that I had tasted the fastest XP rates, I couldn't turn back to the grind. Unfortunately, the 10 bonds were just the start of this addiction. Why would I waste my time trying to gather GP when I didn't have to? My current account value was roughly 1.4 billion GP. That gives you an indication of how much money I injected via bonds. As well as that, I went from 4.99s to 14.99s, which gives you an indication of how much bonus XP I've accumulated through the countless treasure hunter spins. The worst part about that is that none of those 99s, other than Slayer, felt good to achieve. It felt hollow and meaningless. Spending money on this game is a vicious cycle. You feel dissatisfied with where you are in the game, you spend money on the game, you feel dissatisfied with what you got for your money, you spend more money in the hope you eventually get what you want. This is where Treasure Hunter came into play. The bonus XP is ridiculous enough, but what... I'm sorry, the bonus XP is ridiculous enough, yes. The bonus XP is ridiculous enough, but when there are promotions like Smoldering Lamps, it's a very real temptation for someone who has already willingly spent money on microtransactions to spend a lot of money. Over the last 5 months or so, I would say I've spent close to £1,800 to £2,000. I won't disclose my salary on Reddit, but this was not a sustainable habit. put it that way. But it felt great. I was progressing so quickly, the money almost paled into significance. I'm ashamed to say that at times I valued this game over other aspects of life, like my health. I pretty much lived off of cereal and toast. Thankfully, last week when the smoldering lamps were announced, this is when I had my moment of realization. I had very little money in the bank, and instead of saying that's fine, I'll just play the game normally, I had the mindset that not taking part in this promotion was not an option. I had to get the money however I could. It was at this moment I realized that I needed help. When you can't take the fact that you're not able to spend money on something as stupid as this, you need help. I agree with that. I'm not willing to discuss the personal impact it's had on my life over the last 5 months, but it's affected everything. My relationship, my job, my health. I'm so happy that I've been through this and can say that it will never happen again. I'm so lucky that I had this moment
dangerous.
Yeah, to say that it will never happen again. Yeah, you should never say that it will never happen again, because it can always happen again. You're not perfect. These are the reasons that these are the reasons that RuneScape is fun to play. Spending money on this game gets you nothing. Ultimately, you end up with the same achievements as everybody else, and there will always be someone richer than you. Achieving your goals through real hard work and determination is what makes this game great. Although you might pay to win, in actual fact, you'll end up a loser. So please, if there are any of you reading this in a similar situation to me, stop now and open your eyes. Think about what that money could have bought you, the things you could have done in the real world. I think that globally there isn't enough exposure to this sort of problem. This is happening across hundreds of games every day and is a real problem that the companies will never discuss. I'm actively pursuing ways of making this issue more public, and am considering starting a blog, an almost retrospective diary, purely for my own peace of mind and to share my thoughts with anyone who might be feeling the same way. So there you go. A very real and dangerous outcome.
Son of a bitch.
Yeah. This, we talk about this quite often. I just looked up a chat for the first time after reading that. 2,000 pounds. 2,000 pounds. Yeah, exactly. Like this is what addiction looks like, people. Yep. Not everyone's willing to share their story because, if you think about this, it really makes this person out. He's, in my mind, a hero for posting this, but in other people's eyes, you might see him as someone with no self-control. A loser, a nerd, shut in, cares more about a game than anything else. No, this is an illness. This gambling is an illness. It can ruin your life.
And people should not be ashamed for talking about the problems they have at all. People with physical illnesses a lot of times are able to talk about it. And some of them are still shamed subjects with that, but it's ridiculous that if you have some kind of mental illness, I can't think of a better word for gambling, but gambling is in some ways a mental illness. Like it can eat away at your brain that you want to spend this money.
When they say it's burning a hole in my pocket, that can be a physical sensation to some people in the form of anxiety.
Yeah.
And just remember, there are hotlines you can call all the way around the world.
Yep.
Talking about this stuff, and people will be willing to help you out.
We've got hotlines for your hot cold problems. Sorry.
Yeah, I totally agree with that, Dx. It's a great thing to say.
Yes.
And this is gets to the core of what what I hate most about Treasure Hunter. It's not just the fact that people can spend money. It's the fact that you get caught in this vicious cycle, and it can just suck all your enjoyment out of the game. Like, there are definitely people out there who can spend a little bit of money and get some things off of Treasure Hunter and still very much enjoy the game, but then there are people like this who it just sucks out everything they used to enjoy about it because they can't stop spending.
Yeah, that's the problem. Is I just tried to write thank you for sharing and I typoed and it came out thank you for sharding. Yeah, that totally just caused me to lose my train of thought. I apologize, but yes. And I wish more people would share things like this. But on the flip side, as DX was saying, is how do the people at Jagex in their microtransactions department sleep at night? there's so many ways that companies use to distance themselves or make it okay, that, you know, it's like, well, you know, everything that person did, they can already do in game. They just chose to do it the quick way. That's not our fault. But they enabled that person to do that. You have to understand, when an addiction is in place, being an enabler is almost just as bad as the person who's causing the, you know, the damage with their addiction.
And I mean, this is a big problem with video games in general. As he says, we don't have any kind of gambling laws that affect video games. Like in most countries, there are laws that dictate, you know, how casinos and things like that have to work, and even that can still cause tons of issues. And there's plenty of valid arguments against even allowing those such things. But we at least have regulations and crap like that there. Well, when you look at things like video games, there is literally no regulation for it, and people can just put in these unfair gambling systems.
Yeah. To put these systems in game and not call them gambling systems and have them not subject to the laws of gambling, I think is ridiculous. But when you bring it back to scope even further, and you find out websites like FanDuel and that's the only one I can think of off the top of my head, but there's another big one too. Was it like Fantasy Kings or something? I think.
I think that's
where
right.
They aren't even considered gambling websites. Come
Right?
on.
They've literally figured out a way to turn fantasy football into gambling, and then they can sell it in DraftKings is one of them.
Yeah, DraftKings. Thank you.
And sell it in such a way that it's not actually gambling. Yeah, that is extremely messed up.
I'm gonna
forgot
text
about
you
that
something
stuff.
on Discord.
Okay.
You're gonna find this amusing when you learn what that really is, because it just came into my mind as to, I'm like, that was a couple. All right, because when you said DraftKings, I was like, oh yeah, that other place is actually a different kind of company. Anyway, I just pulled a mild friend there. Anyway, so that's warning from a whale. We're gonna move along here before chat. Hopefully that went over chat's head. Except now that anyone listening to this pre-recorded is just gonna rewind and figure it out. But whatever. I'm sure I'll be hearing from this in the non-live comments section. So let's see. We have an unpopular opinion here. If we're ready to move along, everything got really quiet. Can we move along? Are we good to go? All right, cool. We'll move along here with unpopular opinion. 120 Slayer. This is by Colleen22. Colleen says, nobody has really spoken out against the upcoming new level of cap for Slayer. Someone doesn't listen to RuneScape Weekly. Maybe it's because...
Somebody doesn't read the Reddit either.
Yeah, right. Maybe it's because we have been told way ahead of time. This will be the first established skill in RuneScape to have its level cap raised to 120. It feels like Jagex are looking for ways to add content, but is this really the way to go? Not everyone who plays is endgame. Not everyone who has several hours a day to play. The scariest part about this, for me, is that this may very well possibly become a... I thought it says trend. Again, my brain is really messing up. I thought that read turd. This was very well possibly may become a turd. I mean, you're right. It might. But no, it might become a trend, and other skills start being raised to 120. And you know what? I hope so. Go ahead.
Mage, I know it's early at your end, but it's really, really early at my end, and even I can read this and not get him confused. That does not say turd.
Oh, no, I know, and it's just I know it doesn't. My eyes are just playing tricks on me, as you can see by the fact that I stopped and laughed at it. I didn't actually say it. It's just my eyes have been doing that a lot recently. It's just I see the couple, the last letter and the first letter, and my brain just calculates the in-between for me, and it's been doing a really bad job lately. I think my eyes are just seeing what I want to read. To everyone against 120 Slayer, they said if it is not a success, they won't do other 120s. That's not fair! That is so not fair, Sarah. To say that's like... You know... That's like saying, like, oh, we're not gonna try this with anything else because it didn't work in this one particular instance. You know, that's like saying, you know, no one can have peanut butter and jelly sandwiches in the entire world because some people are allergic to peanuts. You know? Like, saying that 120 Slayer doesn't work doesn't mean that, 120 woodcutting wouldn't work. Wouldn't work. Get it? Okay. Moving along. So, I don't know. I don't have anything to really say about this that hasn't already been said before. Yeah, I do need an optometrist very badly. I'm actually going on Friday, DX. These glasses are quite old. Anyway, any opinions on 120 Slayer? Yes, yay, nay. I mean, I'm fine with skills going to 120. I just don't like Slayer, and it just sucks for me that Slayer is the first one that they picked. But I'm not gonna take away 120 Slayer from people if they want it.
Yeah, in the end, I think it's a good thing. I mean, you're right. Not everybody's at the end game, but not everybody ever has to be at the end game. Like play the game at your own pace, and when you get to when you get to 99 Slayer, 120 will still be sitting there for you to get. And if you don't ever want to get it, you honestly don't have to. Like, it's not a requirement that you. If you really hate
you're
it
on your
much.
deathbed, I guarantee as you lay there slowly fading away from this world, you're not going to be like, I regret my lack of 120s. I'm a failure. Like, no, you're not. It's like, it's not a big deal. These things are fleeting. And again, Zeno, to your point where you say we can't trust them on that, saying from what Sarah was saying about saying that we'll never raise skills to 120. They initially said no skills will be raised to 120 when 120 capes became a thing. But let's be honest. I used that slippery slope in my mind where I was like, if we can get our foot in the door with just capes, we'll eventually be able to get our foot in the door with skills. And then we'll move from there. Like that was my original plan, was if we can get them to say yes to cosmetic capes, we're one step closer to getting them to say yes to actual 120s. So that was secretly my plan all along, was to ease the community in to the idea of 120s. And once it became, okay, virtual 120s are a common thing, then we could, move them from virtual slowly into real 120s. And then I'd like to see 150s and so on and so forth in another 5 years or something. But, that's that.
Now, one thing I hate about that is that in Dungeoneering, where I'm like level 1, I'm now 117, and I've got some various skills which are virtual level, say over X amount of max that you need to open a skill door or whatever, and it requires me to make a potion and stuff like that for a door, which technically I have the bloody I have the skill to actually do without making a potion, without doing that stuff. Just putting that out there.
I'm a little confused here. So we're talking about Dungeoneering doors and skill doors in particular, yeah?
Skill doors requiring virtual levels. Is that what you mean, DX?
Well, we're talking about 120s.
Yes.
Yeah.
In Dungeoneering, it's possible to get a skill door that's over level 99, is what you're saying, right?
Yeah, but the thing is, I'm already higher than that level, and I have to make a potion to get me.
Yeah, because they're virtual. Yeah, and this is exactly why we need. And if virtual levels became real levels, then I think they should totally count towards Dungeoneering.
Oh, really? I didn't even know that. That actually is kind of silly that they don't count your actual virtual level as
that doesn't count it.
Something.
Yeah, no, it's purely cosmetic at this point, and I'm hoping to slowly change that.
It should definitely count in
Sarah,
Dungeoneering. That is dumb.
Yeah, it is dumb. But then again, Dungeoneering's dumb. Moving along. This next post is by Idle Ellie, who says, this is a really old one, and that name sounds familiar. Let me just look at this real quick. Will Quip.
From the 8th of November.
Oh, no, I thought it was the 8th of August. Oh, okay. Wow. I cannot wait to get new glasses. You have no idea.
Yeah, you definitely need an optometrist.
I'm so blind. It's getting real bad. It's all set though.
Come closer.
It's all set though. I don't know if I was going to go to LensCrafters, but I'm going to another place that's a lot cheaper, and I don't think I'm going to be able to get my glasses same day. But I'd rather save $300 than and wait a few days. Do you have your
prescription?
No. I'm going to get my eyes tested, then take my prescription. I know you can take your prescription and go online and get like super cheap glasses.
You should really go to warbyparker.com.
Link me, because
okay,
I get a free pair of glasses via Mass Health, and then I'm gonna buy like a pair of anti-glare transitional lens Oakleys as well.
Yeah, if you have a prescription, Warby Parker is an amazing. The glasses are like $100, and they're really good quality. From what I've heard from tons of people.
Yeah, that's about what I want to spend. Basically, because I have a stipend. This is what happens. When you're given a stipend, it's like you have every incentive to then spend as little of that stipend as possible, because then you get to keep the rest of the money for yourself. That's how trust funds work, if anyone's not on the up and up on trust funds. It's like, here's a check for $500 earmarked for glasses. And it's like, okay, well, if I can spend $180, then I get to keep the rest of that. You know, it doesn't go back into the fund. So it's like, now if I can just not spend $500 on glasses, then I have some leftover money for the holidays. So that's my secret plan. But anyway, why do anything, asks Idle Ellie. If we are just going to randomly cut comp requirements, why should we bother doing anything at all? Am I going to grind out 120 Slayer just so that in 4 months, Jagex says, we cut the XP requirement for 120 Slayer in half? I'm pretty angry about this. Dozens of players did it, therefore anyone now should have to do it just the same. It isn't even that hard, not to mention the fact that we are not refunded our runes, and on top of that, there isn't anything to spend the stupid points on. Obviously, in reference to Livid Farm point reduction, someone's a little salty, and, well, I feel like we've had this discussion previously before. Harley, you're good at this one. Pern is good at it too. It's just... Things change.
Why do anything? Why do school buses exist? When I was a kid, I had to walk to school uphill both ways. This is bullshit.
And once I got there, they broke both my legs every day. Like, oh my god. Things get easier. Things change. The game is expanding. There's more upper level content. We need to make the lower level content more accessible to newer players so they can reach the higher level of content, because there's so much. It's like if every year somebody added a step, right? And they continued doing that. Let's just say every month, or every week for 15 years, I add one step. In 15 years later, I'm going to have like a bunch of freaking stories, you know, like, it's going to be up pretty dang high. You know, and then to say, well, you know, I climbed the entire thing in year 1. You know, you can't say that that's the same as climbing the entire thing in year 15. There's so many more steps. You have to make the lower level steps more accessible because there's so many more other steps.
What the hell is up with roads? Like, why aren't there just dirt paths everywhere?
Right?
You have to push your horse.
Why aren't we still using cyanide as a vaccine for rabies?
Yep, that's a very good question.
Why do I know that?
Why aren't we giving out cocaine as a medicine anymore?
Seriously, why aren't we giving out cocaine as a medicine anymore? Crack a sparkling water on that one.
So he cracks open a cold one.
If you want a version of RuneScape that never changes, you can go play Classic.
Exactly. Yeah, and if you want, you can also get a refreshing Coca-Cola Classic.
That's true.
Sorry,
Coke though.
Yeah, that's true. See, I almost had a funny there. That was almost funny.
Oh, it was still funny.
Anyway, why do anything? Exactly. Ellie, you really answer your own freaking question. Why do anything? I mean, really, like, you are the poster child for nihilism at this point. You've, like, even if it was the other way and they never changed it, why do it? Why bother? Who cares? It's not it's a game, so why even do it anyway?
If you want an MMO to never change, then you want an MMO without a user base, except for like a few hardcore people who liked that exact version of the game. There's a reason that these games change, and it's because, first of all, like, the longer time goes on, the better ideas you can have and the newer things you can do. And second of all, it's to keep the interest of players. And third, it's to draw in new players. Like, imagine that. Imagine actually wanting a new player base in a game. What a novel idea.
I know, right? This episode of Runescape Weekly was sponsored by Coca-Cola. Why walk all the steps when you can drink a sweet carbonated drink? Speaking of sweet carbonated drinks, I actually kind of have to go to the bathroom. As I just cracked open this sparkling water. That's fantastic. Oh, listen, that ASMR right there. Anyway.
That's beautiful.
All So why do anything? You're right. Why? Why do anything? Why am I doing a show? You know what? Why? Why am I even doing this? Forget it. I don't gotta do this. I'm gonna go do something else.
See ya.
Bye. Anyway, in all seriousness, why do I actually get up and everything? Now I gotta sit back down.
For the sound effects, because it came through the audio.
Yeah, Alright, let's see here. Rant, RuneScape isn't dead. That's our next topic. The content isn't dead. RuneScape isn't dead. The content isn't dead. Read to understand more. Okay. I shall do that. This is by our duo Try. And they say, this will probably be TLDR in many cases. But please bear with me. I know reading is XP waste, but this is actually important for the sake of the game as a whole. I just hope I can give my explanation properly and I don't miss the details and how I feel about this whole thing, which was coupled together from what I've seen and what I just realized recently. Rant begins here. First off, the game isn't dead. Quit saying it is. In fact, as a player from 04-05, I think the game is a bit more alive than it used to be. However, not much can be said about the community on the other hand. Now, before you jump down my throat, let me explain what I mean. Not all the community is bad. Contrary to that, there are many wonderful people in this game's community. Many reasonable players that enjoy the game and love playing it. However, there is a certain faction of the community in either RuneScape 3 or old school RuneScape, whichever game you like of theirs, that are, in a sense, killing the game. Whether it's intentional or not, I'm not sure. This comes from the extremely elitist side of the community. The players on that particular side of the community are what's killing this game. It's a combination of their extreme desire to not waste XP. I'm going to stop you right there for a second. He literally in the opening says, I know reading this is XP waste. And then goes on to complain about people who have that saying. I assume his initial statement is tongue-in-cheek then?
Exactly. I make XP waste jokes, but I am not an XP waste, a no XP waste kind of player.
Fair enough. So I assume he's being tongue-in-cheek there. It's a combination of their extreme desire to not want to waste XP and to get everything they can so they can use it in whatever way they want, particularly in PVM. Though I'm not pointing my finger at the upper-class PVMers, don't worry, I'll do it for you. They work hard learning boss mechanics and getting powerful weapons into the game so we could buy them on the GE with less stress, lowering the price as they get more into the game. However, what I talk about is the side of the community, which is actually a surprisingly small side of it if my guess is right, though you couldn't tell because the methods and tricks from them spread like wildfire, becoming mainstream in the game to a certain degree. This is the side of the community that literally looks for and tries to find every possible little trick and exploit in the game to make it fast and easy as possible, allowing them to almost monopolize the idea as quickly as they can and suck it dry in many cases before Jagex is sometimes forced to respond like they did with boosting. And I bet you the issue with all trading may be dealt with. It's people like that only care about getting the best of everything that ruins the experience for everyone else. And then other selfish players that want to race through the content as well as imitate the players that discovered this. I mean, take a look at what happened with Invention. Aside from the obvious overhyped, underperforming release, there were people who got 99 and 120 within a few days of its release. I think there was someone who had 99 within 24 hours. And this happened so fast, Jagex couldn't respond and get the fix out there before the damage had already been done. If they tried to reverse the damage, guess what? They'd get massive backlash. Jagex tries hard, yes, they screw up now and again, but I don't blame them entirely for it. Programming is difficult. Creating is difficult. You can't plan for every little problem. The blame also befalls the player that takes advantage of the screw-ups. Why? Because they either want their beloved max cape, comp cape, or whatever else they want, an achievement, a weapon, whatever. The sect of the community is literally poison for the game. They ruin the fun by controlling the outcome of minigames by...
What was that?
What? This sect of the community is literally poison for the game?
I swear I heard you say the sex of the community, and I was really confused for a second. It's probably just my ears misunderstanding.
Fair enough. They ruin the fun by controlling the outcome of minigames by paying their way through it with the game in-game money or with in-game money or items. I know there's little that can be done to stop it, little that can be done to actually do anything in particular about this issue, though I do hope that there are parts of this community that are willing to fight against this whole problem and help make RuneScape what it used to be. Not only with more people, but with ourselves. Also, I'll add bots aren't necessarily a problem for me, to be honest. I find them to have some use when they're not getting in the way of gaining XP. Yes, they cause problems throughout the game by making prices crash, but they also assure that we have a consistent flow of items in the GE for skilling too. So, to me, that's a bonus. But I do hope, you just lost all credibility to me there.
Yeah, this post just tanked itself.
Yeah, he really just shot himself directly in the nutsack at the end here. But I do hope that they are dealt with, as they cause all manner of problems. So please, slow down from your efficiency, take time to smell the roses, and enjoy the game a little bit. End of rant.
This is so weird. This is a guy complaining about the no XP waste community, and then he's literally like, but bots are cool, even though the bots come from a no XP waste mentality.
Yeah. I don't know what to say about that in particular. I mean, there's many reasons why we do not need bots in this game. I would rather this game be 100% bot free and everything be 10 times more expensive. I'll be honest with you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like I liked, and I like it when people have to actually come. I've actually been considering playing a really kind of old game. I can't remember the name of it right now. But, like, you have to literally build everything by hand. Like, and it's like everything's always PvP enabled. People can come in and steal your own stuff. Like, it's a really old game. I think it's like sprite based and whatnot, but it's browser game. And like, I want to go back to those times where like things were difficult to do. It wasn't just like you could immediately be right at the top, if you will. Anyway, RuneScape isn't dead. The content isn't dead. Apparently.
Please allow botting.
Yeah, but botting needs to remain alive. No, I think the underlying message there is stop XP waste, stop that mentality. I mean, I don't know if anyone.
I very much agree with that part. Like, I'm the person who put this in the in the show notes.
I'd love to see
I did not even know about the last paragraph there, which like makes me not even want to agree with this guy on any level. But unfortunately, we do agree on the fact that the no XP waste, I think, is a very bad mentality for the community to hold, and is something. I mean, we've talked about it earlier in the show. Like I said, mini games, things like that. Like people forget. Like, you do not play a game to get to the end. Like, I mean, some games you do. Some games you want to see the whole story. But even then, like, your most enjoyable part of a game is not literally getting to the end. It's the journey that you take.
Yeah, it should be about the journey getting to the end, the story that you are unfolding, learning the characters, their flaws, their desires, what drives them. Like, I don't understand why we've gotten to a point where it's just like, what are the rewards? I don't care about what's getting me to the rewards. I just want to know what the rewards are, and they better not suck.
Yep. And I mean, like that guy talking earlier, like the warnings of a whale. It's similar if all you focus on is XP gain. Like, you're gonna if all you focus on is getting to the end of XP game, you're gonna completely miss out on the whole point of the game, which is not to get to the end of XP game. It's to gain the XP, and that's the real fun experience in the game.
Yeah, it's all about leveling up. It's not all about the XP. It's about the journey, and that rhymes. And now I feel like we need to turn that into like a rap. So stand by. But anyway. Let me read a comment here from Lilla, who says, I'm unsure how you can describe enjoying efficiency as selfish. Wanting to progress as fast as possible is no different to doing every quest because you enjoy them. RuneScape is one of the few games where efficiency really comes into its own due to the tick system and sheer amount of skills. Of course, the game is going to have a lot of people that are into it. With that being said, there's a large difference between efficiency elitists and outright exploiters. People gaining 5 million invention XP in an hour were not exploiting anything. Given the completely awful XP you gained from leveling augmented gear, it's safe to say the gizmos were the only viable trading method on release, and the players that care about leveling it used it, and rightfully so. What do you expect to happen? Everyone to just not level a brand new skill they've been waiting so long for, just in case Jagex basically did everything wrong? That's not how it works. I understand that point. It's like, okay, this is the best method. It's only affordable by billionaires. Clearly something is wrong here. There's a good chance it's going to get changed. They took the gamble and decided to spend the money, or they spent the money because they wanted to be the VIPs that were ahead of everyone else who couldn't afford to be at that level. Anyway. Bounty Hunter, on the other hand, is entirely different. Those choosing to boost are outright ruining the content for those trying to play genuinely, and is also fairly shady within the rules of RuneScape. But this will always be an issue, and not just on RuneScape. Having said that, though, it's entirely Jagex's job to predict things like this and to prevent it from happening to begin with. That's what QA is for. And what's really unbelievable is they knew boosting would be the outcome and still did nothing to prevent it. The entire game is a grind towards what you want. Many of us enjoy PVM, which at a high tier is basically gated behind the max guild PVM portal if you wish to do anything, doing the most you can do in an hour. Very few people I know actually enjoyed training Invention to get their max cape back, and slowing down wouldn't have made that any better. Generally, the entire reason people are rushing through content is because they don't enjoy it very much and want to get back to do what they do enjoy doing, which is reasonable. Your seeming hatred for people that don't enjoy every aspect of the game is odd. So, any thoughts on that as far as people?
I mean,
I think that's two different camps. Go ahead.
I disagree at how different the bounty hunter boosting and the initial invention training were, at least on some level. Like, I think that sure there were some people who just thought it was the only way to train, but the people who were literally just buying as many hand cannons as possible and trying to rush that 99, like that is pretty dang similar to boosting bounty hunter. It's a bit different because it was a money sink for them instead of a money making thing.
Yeah.
But I don't think that's a huge difference as far as, like, it's still in many ways exploiting something that was pretty obviously wrong.
It's exploiting Jagex's ineptitude to produce a functional system. I'll give you that. You know, they completely, like, missed the mark. Like, literally had the system flipped upside down as to how XP was supposed to be gained. I completely blame them for that.
Absolutely.
Bounty Hunter, on the other hand, I think that I think that it's more the player base than their fault. I don't know how much you can really do is to completely remove boosting from Bounty Hunter without basically saying, okay, this is a fantasy world and we have unlimited overhead. Let's kill all abuse. Versus how can we mitigate this so it's, at a reasonable level. Go ahead.
And I mean, I agree. I don't think you can remove all abuse from Bounty Hunter, but I don't think, like we've said, like, botting, you can't remove all botting either. But I think it's a symbol of, like, doing what you can. I think they should have had things like trade turned off on release when Bounty Hunter first came out. That would have definitely discouraged it quite a bit, and it would have been way more underground from the beginning. Yeah. Which I think part of the issue right now is
people
that
know about it.
Exactly. It was so popular.
It's a Barbra Streisand effect.
Exactly.
Anyway, let's continue on. We have 3 more posts, or 4 more posts. I think this one needs to be logged into. Before we're going to shut it down, so as we get into the home stretch here, let's do so. We're going to head to the RuneScape official forums for a couple of posts here. This next one is by the Pip-Boy3000, the Vegan Challenge. Who found this post? Who found this post?
Sounds like Pern.
This
sounds like Pern.
Was ridiculous. All right. Hello, fellow scapers. I have a challenge for you. To beat this challenge, you must obtain max combat meat-free. You may use regen, Saradomin God Sword, other healing weapons. However, only fruits and vegetables and grains may be used as food. Good luck. So I just found this to be interesting. Like,
I kind of love that.
I know I would. This is ridiculous. I would actually watch like a mini series on YouTube of somebody trying to. Keep in mind though, all best food heals, but there's plenty of like stews and soups and dough-based food that actually heals pretty decent.
Can we get a vegan Iron Man, please, Jagex?
That would be great. It's like now the Iron Man drop-down box. It says Iron Man, Hardcore Iron Man, Vegan Hardcore Iron Man.
Do you think that a vegan Iron Man, like full extent of being a vegan in RuneScape, like you couldn't kill any of the monsters then?
I would think so. I mean, isn't like the whole like they didn't say vegetarian. Like no harm should come to animals or their product. Also, would you be able to even complete certain quests? Like, how would you complete Cook's Assistant? You need a chicken egg for that. You got to make a cake. I know you're not eating the cake, but are you allowed to handle the animal products? Like, there's some interesting ways this could actually go.
Well, if you know what's going to happen to it, then I feel like that would go against the whole thing of it. I mean, some people eat vegan for certain reasons, but like the whole point of vegan is to not have animals be harmed. So I feel like killing them in any way is definitely
harming them. Sure.
Yeah.
Harvesting their byproducts, I don't know if that's considered harming. I think that's debatable.
You could probably kill like ghosts and such. You know, I'm trying to think of what things you could kill.
Oh, that'd be and again, like because the thing about chickens in RuneScape, right, is they also randomly spawn eggs. You don't have to kill a chicken in RuneScape to obtain an egg anymore. So, it would really be about like, are you allowed to exploit animals for their resources? Like, is that okay? I mean, because
I think that goes against it, exploiting them for resources.
Yeah. So, I mean, is taking an egg from a chicken exploiting its resources? Is milking a cow exploiting a cow? I would say yes. I think milking a cow is more exploitative than taking an egg from a chicken that it was probably going to lay anyway. But
well, no, but you're literally stopping a life. I mean, in RuneScape it doesn't work that way, but if we're like fully RPing this,
well, it doesn't work in real life that way either. I mean, unless we're talking about human life.
If you take an egg from a chicken, you're stopping the potential for life.
Yes. Are we going to get into a potential of life argument here?
I guess.
I don't know if that's a good idea. Do it with cabbages only. Call it the Andrew challenge. I don't know if I wonder if you'd actually be able to do that. I mean, if you're good enough at PVM, probably. So there are people out there who can do entire bosses that I couldn't even dream of without touching food.
Well, considering you can regenerate and stuff like that, it's honestly not. I mean, it would be way harder in old school.
Sure. Everything's way harder in old school. But cows actually like getting milked. Maybe the RuneScape cows do.
At this point, cows like literally couldn't live if we didn't milk them.
Yeah. Well, that's what we've done to them.
Yeah, absolutely.
But in game, it's a cow. It's just pixels on a screen at that point.
No, it's not.
Digital murder is still murder.
Yep.
Anyway, we got 3 more topics here. Subbies is the next poster who says, beware potential hackers. This is, of course, just a PSA. I try to throw at least one of these in a week. Subby says, I checked my email today, and I had 2 emails from an email looking to be RuneScape saying they accused me of real-world trading and wanted me to visit the site to view the evidence. I'm not visiting the site as it looks like malware, but I just thought the community should know. So there you go. Just don't click on links in your fucking email. This person was smart enough to not do it, and look, they kept their account and personal effects. Let's hope you can too. We had some hacker trolls in chat earlier. I wonder if they're still hanging out there. I was thinking to myself, I'm like, yeah, glad I put 2-factor on literally everything. I'm gonna pull a Moderamen here. You say that, right? You make a definitive like that, and you find yourself hacked the next day immediately. So never make absolutes. Never say 100%, because you're never 100% safe.
Only Sith deal in absolutes.
All right, we have 2 more posts here. Is extortion bannable? This one is by Extortionscape. Fair name for that. I've been training at the Wildy agility course with a demonic skull, and I've been murked, like 5 or 6 times in an hour by one person. He keeps trying to get me to pay him 10 million to back off, but I'm literally down to 400k at the moment and can't afford a demonic skull right now without selling something from my bank or grinding something for a bit. This seems a lot like extortion. Is this bannable? I know it's in the Wildy, so yeah, it's expected that you get attacked. That's not what I have a problem with, it's just the extortion aspect. I wouldn't care if he kept killing me, but the fact he's asking for money to off seems a bit non-kosher. Well, yeah, don't pay him the money. He's an idiot. Report him. Move along. He's just being an idiot. Right? I think someone said that. Yeah, it was no idea. Odds are he will take your money and keep killing you. But have you tried turning your private off and hopping worlds? And they say yes, but it seems he can hop every world from 1 to 140 in the span of 5 minutes. So he just finds him, pretty much.
That's impossible unless he's doing some really ridiculous stuff. Because eventually, like if you're hopping worlds quick enough, that you will get timed out by Jagex.
Yeah. So I don't know if that's, I don't know what's going on here, but something fishy's going on for this poor person here.
Yeah, that does sound like very crappy. I mean, I don't know how that would flow as far as rules go. If you can actually get banned for something like that, I don't know.
I think that falls under disrupting gameplay. Just because you're stalking that person, that like you can't get them. It's not the killing of you that you can ban, you can report them for. It's the fact that they are audibly harassing you for money over and over again, and then repeatedly following you.
Sure, yeah,
that's
I agree.
What I think you have a case for, but obviously. I mean, if he was just hopping worlds to find you and kill you, unfortunately, not a bannable offense. The fact that he's trying to get money out of you to stop, I think makes it an offense worth reporting. Anyway, final post of the evening is by Eknoloth, and it's called I Hate Wings. This says here, and all the other blasted skins that the blasted Solomon's General moronic override shop, the joy of creating an ensemble from things earned in-game is all but removed now. There's an equipment slot for wings that currently has no in-game equipment slot associated with it, and now, instead of medieval knights and mercenaries, everyone you see is wearing high fantasy, over-designed, smoldering, spiky garbage. Slap on some stagnant, unmoving wings, hovering an inch or two away from your shoulders, and some anima kitty cat ears, and you're ready to prance about like an imbecile. Keepsakes are cool. They let you get use out of otherwise unused interesting quest items and the like. All the smoke and flashing animations also severely cannibalize the prestige of the game, animated special items such as 120 capes. I have spoken. Solomon sucks. Well, somebody apparently just woke up from cryo sleep where they froze themselves in 2001.
Yeah. And I completely disagree with this. First of all, this game has always had a high fantasy to it. Like, it's not a new thing. And items have always been getting different. Like, look at Rune Armor versus...
Lost you there for a second. Rune Armor versus what there?
Dragon Armor.
Dragon Armor.
And I mean, the old version...
Poor Harley. Yeah, the old version versus the new version.
Yep.
Yeah, the new version's beautiful. Old version, not so much. I wear the old ones ironically on occasion, or if I'm meeting up with DX, I'll put on my keepsake dragon armor just so he doesn't feel out of place, or like he's talking to someone out of his gameplay level. But
I also don't agree that it actually devalues anything. Like I will a lot of times wear. I will just make my cosmetic override, just my base outfit that I got from the Varrock store. Like, and I think I look awesome in it.
Yeah, and that's fine. You should be able to wear whatever you want. I mean, there's plenty of outfits, and there's still plenty of items that you can keep safe from quests that are cool. But I mean, I don't understand what's wrong with having a cosmetic shop in the game.
Yeah, what's wrong with having options? This is about as silly as like the people who yell about like women Just let people be happy.
Yeah. Let everyone just live their own lives. If you don't want if you don't want them, don't buy them.
Yeah.
The fact that yeah.
Wings are also not an equipment slot. They're literally only available in the cosmetic.
Yeah.
It's not like you actually see it in your equipment interface.
Well, I think his argument there is the fact that like you can't obtain them in game, and he's pissed off that like there's literally a slot dedicated to something you could only purchase or unlock. Which is that's the thing is like that's not true because like they also unlock from quests and whatnot as well. There are actually quests that provide wing slot items and special effects slot items. So yeah. Anyway, anything else you want to bring up before we wrap up today's show, or are we good to go?
Good to go.
I keepsake my untrimmed cape, and I'm super happy about it. Absolutely, that's what keepsakes are for. Being able to keep rare and cool items. I don't think the Solomon General Store affects that at all. Wish keepsakes were out when I had an untrimmed. Yeah, I never had an untrimmed, unfortunately, because I already had multiple 99s when skill capes came out. So poop me, I guess. Anyway, was that all? Did you want to bring up anything, Harley, or should I wrap it up?
No, you can wrap it up. All
right, we're going to break it down then and wrap it up. Good show. Good show. I'm going to figure out which one of these keys brings up my freaking end cap. There we go. Should have pressed all the keys. So anyway, that's going to do it for this episode of RuneScape Weekly. In the meantime, you can, of course, find us on social media. We got a Facebook page for you, facebook.com/RSWeekly. Got a Twitter for you as well, @RSWeekly. And if you can, please take the time to rate us and review us on iTunes or whatever podcast aggregator you use to obtain the show. And of course, if you're watching this on YouTube, please like the video and leave a comment. And if you're watching live, please remember to like the live stream or follow us if you're on Twitch. And if you want to join us in-game, we got a clan chat available for you as well. Clan chat, kill, skill, the letter N, chill. That's kill, skill, N, chill, or clan.runeweek.com. You can go to clan.runeweek.com, check our clan rankings, our ongoing monthly skill competitions. This month's competition is rune crafting in honor of the skilling release there. So you could win 10 million GP if you're a member of our clan, 5 million if you're outside of the clan. Currently, as far as the clan side of things, the current leader has 7.1 million XP in rune crafting. That's going to IMVI at the moment. There's 13 days remaining in the competition, so if you want to get in on it, you can participate either by joining the clan or by submitting your rune metrics for rune crafting from the 2nd to the 30th of this month to myself, and you'll be entered into that as well for half the prize if you're outside of the clan. Of course, you can join us on Discord as well. We have a Discord channel for you, discord.runeweek.com. We got our own set of custom emojis, more on the way. Hang out there and chat with us, even when the show isn't going on. You can submit show topics there. You can chat in our live room, our general chat. Play other games with us. We play Overwatch quite often, so if you play Overwatch as well, you can hang out there. We use the voice chat on occasion for that. So Discord, definitely the best way to get in contact with us and to get news ASAP. That's discord.runeweek.com. Look forward to seeing you there. You can also help us out. We have a Patreon page for you, patreon.com/RuneScape. Still looking for people who want a free Patreon show. We're looking for best of segments. We still don't have the best of segment from our last couple of shows, so if you're interested in producing a best of segment, let me know, and I will send you the show, and then you can listen to it, produce the timestamps, edit it if you'd like. Anyway, patreon.com/RuneScape if you are interested in supporting the show. We really do appreciate those who take the time to support the show. We got a PayPal for you as well. If you want to PayPal us while we're not live, paypal.me/RSW. That's paypal.me/RSW. That's going to get you to our PayPal account as well if you want to send us a one-time tip. We also have a shop available for you as well, shop.runeweek.com. You can go to shop.runeweek.com and you can spend Magebucks. That's our virtual currency, and you can use that to unlock past seasons of RuneScape Weekly, including some elite content that's only available to patrons normally as well. So you can get your Magebucks by showing up to live streams and listening to podcasts and all that stuff. So shop.runeweek.com is the place you can actually spend those. You can spend real money too, but why bother when you can use your Magebucks? We got a wishlist list for you as well, wishlist.runeweek.com. That's our Amazon wish list. So if you want to send us a physical goodie to the studio, things that we need, you can go to wishlist.runeweek.com. Do you want to send us a present for the holiday seasons? We'll be updating that list come the end of the month for the holiday season. Things that we like super need, or things that we may only have on there seasonally that will then be taken off. So you can check that out at wishlist.runeweek.com. Again, a big special thanks to our top Patreon supporters, including Motley RS, Swagatorix, Alex W, Danny H, Kevin H, Odin, Gunner, Hamster King, Sudwood, Godly Fury, and One Magic Turtle. Thank you so much for your ongoing patronage and support of the show. Wouldn't be able to produce the show if it wasn't for our Patreon supporters. So thank you so much for continuing to support us. And that goes for everyone who's thinking of supporting us, and of course everyone who just takes the time to actually listen to the show. Thank you to you as well. So anyway, we'll be back on Friday for another edition of RuneScape Weekly. So until then, and as always, happy scaping. Why? Why is this a thing? Why? We need a Christmas shirt, and we get this. Thank you, Zenel, I think.